Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto can't decide which girl he likes the most part 1, and subscribe if you enjoy the video. And also check the description. So let's begin the story. Ichiraku Ramen, a ramen stand in Konohagakure. It's the favorite place where a young cheerful blonde shinobi likes to go and spends nearly every second that he isn't on a mission or training. After all, his favorite hobby was chowing down as much ramen as he could possibly afford. However, tonight, the usually cheerful ramen gobbling Uzumaki Naruto wasn't as energetic as usual. Normally, he would have been to his 3rd or 4th bowl by now, but tonight, Naruto was just stirring the noodles in his ramen around and around, barely taking any of it. What's wrong? You seem like you've lost all energy in that usual energetic body of yours. Old man Ichiraku asked Naruto as he continued making more ramen in case more customers came for a meal. Naruto looked up from his bowl of ramen. It's nothing much. Ichiraku-san stopped his cooking and laid down all the kitchen equipment upon hearing this. Naruto, you've been our most loyal customer for many years now. I can tell when something is wrong with you. Just because I'm not some master chef working for the daimyo doesn't mean I can't tell when my most loyal customer is having something on his mind. But you should be master chef of the daimyo. I bet he'd love the ramen you make just as much as I do. Naruto flashed his foxy grin and put some noodles in his mouth. Thank you for the compliment, but don't try to change the subject. Spill what's on your mind already. Ichiraku-san replied. Naruto slurped a bit of the ramen up and put his bowl back down, the wide grin and cheerful mood disappearing from his face once again, and showing one of minor depression. Well, you know, Valentine's Day is coming up soon and all. Naruto said as he stared towards his ramen. I see. It's okay, you know? Everyone gets rejected every once in a while. That's not the case. Naruto replied fiercely. Then, why are you so depressed if you haven't been rejected by a girl? Ichiraku-san asked as he perked an eyebrow. Well, it's more like, I wanted to ask Sakura-chan out on a date for Valentine's Day or something. But when I found her to ask her just that, she was talking to a friend of mine, fuzzy eyebrows. He likes her too and I heard him ask her out. Naruto replied. So she agreed to him and now can't do it to you, huh? No. I don't know if she agreed or not, since I just turned around and left. But, if she said no, then she'll probably say no to me too because she still likes fuzzy eyebrows as a friend and probably wouldn't want to hurt his feelings by going out on a date with me. And if Sakura-chan said yes, then, I really don't know what to do. Naruto said as he stirred his ramen some more. Well, I can't help you with that, but I know someone who could. Ichiraku-san said, smiling as he stood up. That's true. Naruto asked as he looked wide-eyed at the old ramen stand man. As true as the ramen you are having in front of you, my friend. Ichiraku-san said, smiling before loudly calling out, I am. A few moments later, a young woman's face came out of the back with her brown locks hanging in front of her face. You called, father? Hi, I need you to help me out here. But you said that if I was done with piling the boxes in the back then I could. Well, there has been a change in plans. You're going to take our friend Naruto here on a date, and be sure to teach him everything about how to impress the ladies. Ichiraku-san announced, shining with pride at his little plan to help Naruto out. What? And Naruto yelled. How's that going to help me get Sakura-chan? Naruto added. Father, he's what, 15? And I'm almost 19. What the hell are you thinking? Added. If you don't help Naruto out, I'll cut your allowance in half and you'll not be allowed to go out for 3 months. Ichiraku-san said with a dark glare towards What the? Said in a high-pitched voice. Listen up, Naruto. Could probably help you out with your love problem and teach you how to impress a girl. So that's why you two should go on a date tonight so can teach you the basics of going on a date, and all. He's been our most loyal customer for years, so I expect you to put your entire being into teaching him what's what. So, now you two go on a date and make the best of it. Naruto, I expect you to bring home at midnight and not a minute later or I'll increase the rates of my ramen. Ichiraku-san said as he pushed out of the stand and next to Naruto. Then I'll definitely bring her back before midnight. Naruto said as he jumped up. Good, now you two go. Naruto, since you didn't really eat that bowl of ramen, consider it in the house. Now go. Ichiraku-san said, smiling widely. Ayame let out a sigh as her father headed back to his cooking. Alright Naruto-kun, guess we don't have a choice then, huh? We first need to head back to my house so I can get out of my working uniform and into something nicer. Well then, let us be on our way. She grabbed onto Naruto's hand, who slightly blushed before he was pulled after her towards the Ichiraku residence. Minutes later Naruto was impatiently walking back and forth in front of the door to Ayame's room. Come on! What's taking you so long anyway? Naruto yelled. I think that will be lesson 1 for you, Naruto-kun. Ayame's voice came out of her room. Huh, if you pick up a girl at her house before she's ready, most of the time you'll have to wait a long time. So learn to be patient, they're getting pretty for you, you know. But this isn't a real date. Naruto crossed his arms and leaned back against the wall, staring annoyed towards the other wall. It is going to be somewhat like a real date. Besides, just be thankful I don't need a shower right now. I like to bathe for a really long time. Just then the door opened. Naruto-kun, I need your help here for a few seconds. Huh? Naruto walked into Ayame's room and there he saw her with her back towards him, halfly wearing a beautiful blue-white kimono. What can I help you with? Naruto asked hesitantly as he wondered with his eyes over her exposed back and arms, which were only covered up partly by her hair and something else. Naruto noted. Well, you see, I kind of forgot that I have a lot of trouble tying a knot on a corset since I normally only use the zipper kind when I go out, so if you could please. Sure thing. Naruto flashed a grin and rubbed the back of his head as he walked towards her. But if you're going to wear a kimono, why would you need that underneath it? Naruto asked as he walked towards her. Because even though just the two of us are going on a date, we might also go to a club or something. Then a kimono isn't really that cool, now is it? Ayame replied and gave Naruto a wink. I guess you're right. Naruto said, grinning sheepishly, and grabbed onto the two ends that should be tied together. As Naruto breathed in order to relax somewhat, the smell of a lot of different ramen flavors and an even sweeter smell entered his nostrils. Being intoxicated by the smell, he forgot for a moment what he was actually supposed to do. Naruto-kun? Ayame's voice shook him out of his moment as he quickly shook his head. You were thinking something, weren't you? Ayame asked him, grinning. Naruto shook his head again, wide-eyed. It was nothing like that. Naruto firmly said, and just as firmly pulled on the strings. Not so hard, Naruto-kun. Ayame said loudly. Just then the door of Ayame's room was kicked down, the shock causing Naruto to fall over and pulling Ayame on top of him. What do you think you are doing to my baby girl? A woman's voice yelled in anger. Naruto blinked a couple of times to look at the woman that was standing on the door and noticed she had a pan in her hands, a pan that for some reason seemed to emit a radiance of intent to kill. Mother! It's nothing like that. Ayame yelled as she slightly sat up, forgetting she was on top of Naruto. Ayame! He's underage. Oh my god! You are so getting in trouble for this young lady. Ayame's mom yelled. I told you it's nothing like that. He just pulled the strings of my corset a bit too hard. Why are you letting a teen with raging hormones like him do it? I'm your mother. You could have called me, but I didn't even know you were home today. Nei-chan. Naruto's voice barely reached Ayame's ears. What's wrong? Ayame looked over her shoulder to see a blue-faced Naruto. Can't breathe. Naruto managed to say before passing out due to obvious lack of oxygen. Naruto-kun. Ayame quickly jumped off him. Naruto-kun, Naruto-kun. Hang in there. Ayame said as she shook Naruto a couple of times. Naruto's POV. What happened? I thought as I slowly opened my eyes. The first thing I saw once my vision was clear again was a middle-aged lady holding a frying pan in her hands and Ayame Nichan. Wait, a middle-aged lady? With a frying pan that radiated killing intent, I think? A middle-aged lady with a frying pan. Welcome back to the land of the living, Naruto-kun. The lady said. Don't kill me. I shouted at the top of my lungs as I shot up. Ayame Nichan, and the lady looked wide-eyed at me, like I just said something funny. But it isn't funny at all to bail. That Abakan looks like she's ready to hit me on the head a couple of times with that thing. Ayame Nichan started to giggle, and the lady let out a sigh. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Anyway, you two had somewhere to go, right? I'll ask your dad to come home early and fix that door. The lady said as she stood up and left. Okay, bye Mom. Ayame said. I still don't get what the heck just happened. Normal POV. Like, what in the world happened? Naruto asked as he looked towards the door that was lying on the floor. You don't remember? No, not really. I asked you to tie my corset, you pulled a bit too hard, causing me to say something that had my mom's ears tingling. She came and kicked the door out. Out of shock you fell over, pulled me on you, and I kind of sat on your stomach as I argued with my mom. You weren't able to breathe and passed out. If I hadn't performed CPR on you, you'd probably have died, and that's a short summary of it all. Died. Naruto let out. Probably. Well, let's go then. We'll take it easy with things since I don't know how well you are feeling, but still we made a promise to my dad that you and I have to keep. Remember? Ayame stood up from the side of the bed Naruto was lying on and started walking. Come on, get you of my bed already. Ayame said smiling. Your bed? Naruto yelled as he jumped of Ayame's bed and straightened the sheets and all. Come on, there's no need for such a thing. Ayame grabbed Naruto's hand and pulled him after her. Again Naruto blushed as they were holding hands, and then something just hit him. Wait, you said CPR. That's right. As in CPR? Yes, CPR as in CPR. But that means... Naruto blushed and touched his lips with his free hand. Means what? Ayame asked as she looked towards Naruto, who was still touching his own lips. Ayame turned bright red, knowing what he was thinking of. It's nothing like that. It was just to, well, why you know. As they left Ayame's house, both of them were silent for a couple of moments. So where are we going? Naruto asked, grinning, but still not daring to look Ayame into her eyes. First we'll just go to a restaurant. And just for this once I'll pay for you. Oh. That's another lesson I guess. If you can always pay for your date's meal and make sure that she won't have to pay yours for you. Ayame said, also not looking Naruto in his eyes. Why not? Naruto asked, confused. Because that just isn't right. A man should always be able to pay for himself, and if possible for his date. That's just how it is. Ayame said. Girls don't want to pay for the guys just because they'd rather spend it on other things than on someone who likes them. Naruto said, moderately annoyed. That's not true. Ayame raised her voice and looked towards Naruto with a slight blush. Then why won't they each take turns paying? On one date a man could do it, and on the next a woman can. Naruto said. You might have a point there. Ayame said as she blinked at him. With all these things happening I almost forgot. What? Naruto asked as he looked at Ayame. Why do we need to do this? My dad wouldn't set us up on a date without good reason. He said it was helping you out with something, right? Ayame asked. Naruto told her about how wanted to ask Sakura out for Valentine's Day but that his friend, Rock Lee, was there before him and asked her out, and how he didn't know what she answered because he headed off. Followed up with his dilemma of whether to get rejected or have the possibility to hurt a friend's feelings. That's all? You should have stayed and listened to what she answered. Ayame said once Naruto was done explaining. Yeah, but even if you say so. Naruto said as he crossed his arms and pondered. Naruto-kun, just so you know, Haruno Sakura isn't the only girl available you know. I'm sure you know more girls than just her. Ayame said. Of course, there's Ino, who is kinda Sakura's rival and best friend. Then there's Hinata. She's friendly but for some reason she keeps fainting when I get close to her. Naruto said, counting on his fingers. Maybe she thinks you have a scary face. Ayame said, slightly giggling. What? I don't have a scary face. Scary. Scary. Get away from me. That's not funny. Ayame giggled as she pretended to faint. Any other girls that you let faint, or know at least? She smiled at Naruto. Grr, it's not funny. Naruto muttered. Then there is Tenten, who's Neji and Fuzzy Eyebrow's teammate. I don't really know much about her. And then there's my friend's Gaara's sister, Temari. From what I've seen she's quite aggressive. Naruto took a thinking pose and nodded a couple of times. And any other girls you know? Ayame asked. Other than them I only know a couple of women. Naruto replied, nodding. Well, thank you for the compliment. Ayame said, Naruto looking up in surprise towards her. You didn't name me when you were naming the girls, which means you see me as an adult woman. Ayame said, sticking her tongue out towards Naruto. He grinned widely and let out a short laugh as he put his hands behind his head. Well, let's get something to eat, huh? Ayame said once they reached the restaurant. Hee hee. Of course. All this talking and thinking has kind of made me hungry. Plus you can teach me more over dinner, right? Naruto asked. Well, we'll need to see who else you could ask out on a date. Or have a couple of dates before Valentine's Day so you get used to it, and all. Ayame replied as they headed into the restaurant. They soon had their own table and had ordered their meals, so they were now waiting for their meals to arrive. But who should I ask for such a thing? I don't think you'd have the time to take me on multiple dates, and if I suddenly asked any of the girls I know, they'd think I've given up on Sakura-chan, and that I like them then. Then how about asking someone who people won't think you could date? Ayame suggested and smiled at Naruto. Like who could I ask then? You know some women, right? I think they're probably some of the jounin, so you could ask one of them to discuss shinobi business over a dinner or something. Ayame said. What? Naruto yelled. SSSHT, keep your voice down, people are staring. Oh, sorry. Anyway, why not? It might be weird, but you could ask them for advice as well. Ayame said. Because? Naruto replied. Well, what women do you know then? Ayame asked. Tsunade Avakin, but I doubt she knows a lot about dating since she's always just drinking sake and gambling. I doubt she really went on many dates. Then again, I might be wrong. Then there's Shizen Nichin, but she's always making sure that Avakin works so she can't go and date that much either. Then Kurinai-sensei, and that Chunin examiner, what's her face? Mitarashi, Anko, or something like that. I think they have the most time off. Naruto started nodding. And out of the two, who do you think could teach you the most? Ayame said, and the ears of the person sitting behind her perked. Probably, that Chunin examiner. Erosennin told me once she had some kind of disease or something. Nympho watch Mikalet? Anyway, he said it meant that she likes people a lot or something. Naruto said, and now the ears of the person behind him perked. Ayame stared blankly at Naruto as he pondered. However, his pondering was soon disturbed. Yo, Naruto! I didn't think I'd find a ramen-obsessed guy like you in a restaurant like this. A middle-aged white-haired man's head popped up behind Naruto's seat from the seat behind him, scaring the shit out of Naruto. Gah! Erosennin! What are you doing here? Naruto said, pointing at his sensei's face. That's my line, you brat. But... Jiraiya sang the last word of his sentence as he looked up towards Ayame. I already see what brought you here. Hee. Who could have thought that you listened to my wise teachings these past 2.5 years about women and actually made use of them? Huh? What are you talking about? Naruto asked. Tell me, Naruto. Why would you need advice about women from a woman when you already learned everything from me? A sly way to take her out, effective but sly. Jiraiya said, nodding. That's not the case. Hey, wait a minute. How do you know what I was talking about with her? How long have you been here, Erosennin, and what else have you heard? Naruto asked as he put one foot on his seat and dramatically pointed towards Jiraiya's face. Talking about her? I heard nothing. I just happened to sit down just in time to hear my student call me by the name I forbid him to use in public. Jiraiya said innocently. Liar. Naruto replied. Anyway, watch and learn, Naruto. Jiraiya said as he turned back around. You wanna see old farts failing compliments and get smacked in the face by some lady? Naruto whispered to Ayame, who nodded and sat down next to Naruto. The two of them perked over the edge of the couch and looked at the seat across Jiraiya. There was no one there yet. Excuse me, Mississippi. Jiraiya said as he raised his hand when a waitress walked into their direction. Can I help you, sir? The waitress asked as she walked up to Jiraiya. She was quite good-looking, probably just a bit taller than Naruto, and the first thing that Jiraiya of course noted was that her chest was quite big for her. Yes, would you mind sitting down over there for a second? Jiraiya asked. Sorry, sir, but I have customers to help. Well, I'm a customer too, and part of the help you could provide me comes from sitting down for a few moments. Well, okay, but if I get scolded by my boss, you'll have to take the blame. The waitress said as she sat down across Jiraiya. Jiraiya raised a slight smirk before speaking up. Might I ask why you are working in a restaurant? To earn money, of course. The waitress said, smiling sheepishly. I have to keep up the rent, you know. Besides, it isn't so bad. The tips of most people are quite a lot. I see, but you don't plan to work here your entire life, right? Jiraiya asked as he perked an eyebrow. Of course not. I want to become a fashion designer. The waitress replied. Huh. That's quite interesting. Jiraiya said. A/N. Who is that sound Jiraiya makes a lot of times, you know, in surprise and all. Or when does he get smacked? Ayame whispered to Naruto. I don't know. The old fart is lasting longer than usual. Maybe he wants to show off in front of you. Me? Yeah, you. You're the girl here. Probably he'd like to take both that girl and you back to his hermit shelter. Hermit shelter. Ayame's eyes twitched and the two of them then focused back on Jiraiya's attempt to arrange something with the waitress. You know, you look more like a model to me, Jiraiya said as he took a sip of the water that was already on the table. A model? Me? Are you some kind of agent? The waitress asked, surprised. Yeah, you have really pretty eyes. I bet they'd come out great in pictures. Though I'm not an agent, I have an eye for good-looking future models, Jiraiya said as his eyes averted down to the waitress' chest. My eyes are up here, the waitress said. What? Jiraiya asked as he looked up. You were staring at my chest, weren't you? The waitress said as she glared at Jiraiya. No. I was just looking at your uniform. It looks like it's kind of tightly wrapped on your body. Jiraiya said. Yeah, it is. They didn't have one that perfectly fitted me. The other uniforms were all way too big, so I had to take this one, the waitress said as she demonstrated how tight it was, Jiraiya smirking widely and drool escaping the corner of his mouth. What a liar. He was looking at her chest, even though I could tell that she had a rather large chest, and that he looked at it. Naruto whispered. Oh, Naruto, you stared too, didn't you? Ayame whispered back and softly giggled. No, I didn't. Naruto whispered back fiercely. Naruto no eki. Ayame giggled more. Naruto softly pushed in her side with his elbow. Sir, you are a customer and I appreciate the fact that you find me attractive, but if you continue thinking thoughts about me, I'm going to smack you through that wall. Jiraiya shook out of his trance and quickly wiped off any remaining drool with a napkin. Ahem. Sorry about that. I couldn't help but remember something as you. Well, it was just that something happened here many years ago when I was younger. The uniforms haven't changed since then, you know. Happened? Oh, I see. Sir, you met your wife here or something, right? The waitress asked kindly, smiling at him. Wife? I'm single, Jiraiya said, grinning widely. Then what happened here that you just remembered? The waitress asked. Well, it just so happens that a lot of years ago there was also a girl working here that was quite attractive to say the least. And her uniform was too tight and small for her as well, Jiraiya said and then whispered something in the waitress' ear, who flushed red in her face. That's awful, the waitress said when Jiraiya was done with his story. Yeah, isn't it? Jiraiya said nothing as he sat back. So how about you and I go and get you out of that uniform then? Yeah, let's go. I don't want to spend another minute in this horrible place. The waitress stood up and so did Jiraiya. The two of them walked towards the exit and stopped for a moment there as the manager was standing there as well. Connie-chan, where are you going? The manager said but got interrupted by a loud smack to his face, leaving a red handprint on it. That's for having the same idea as your uncle, the waitress yelled and then stomped out of the restaurant. Jiraiya grinned towards Naruto and Ayame, raised his thumb up before quickly following the waitress. Well, at least someone got smacked, Ayame said as she blinked. How the hell did Erosennin not screw up? Naruto asked no one in particular. Naruto-kun? What's wrong? Lesson number 3. Don't ever try to pull what your sensei just did. It won't work that well on any other girl than that one most likely. Naruto nodded as he turned 90 degrees. I am doing the same, only the other way around. Both of them realized how close they were now, actually sitting with their faces towards each other. A blush appeared on Naruto's face and there appeared one also on Ayame's. Naruto-kun. They slowly leaned forward towards each other. Ayano. They looked away towards their table to see a waitress put down their meals and bow while blushing madly as well. Sorry to interrupt. Really sorry. But the meals are ready, the waitress said while keeping her eyes shut tight. Both Naruto and Ayame jumped and sat straight up as they said in chorus, Itadakimasu, have a good meal. The waitress quickly walked away. Naruto started chowing down his meal but was interrupted by Ayame, who spoke up. Lesson 4, don't chow down your food. Naruto looked towards her and saw that she was still slightly blushing. Why not? It's delicious, so I want a lot of it at once and all. Naruto asked. Well, look at your face then. Ayame said faintly, smiling. My face? Naruto asked as he poked his own face, feeling all kinds of leftovers from his meal sticking on it. Ah, I see. Naruto quickly wiped it off with his napkin. You're a ninja, right? You should eat your food like one. Ayame said. Eat your food like a ninja? Naruto asked, confused. Shinobi don't leave a trace when gathering information, right? Eat your food without leaving a trace of it behind on your face other than a satisfied look afterwards. Ayame answered. Ah, I see, then I'll try that. Naruto said, smiling widely, but even eating still won't solve my problems. About that, I already told you, you should ask one of the women you know. They could teach you a lot. The person who had previously been sitting on the seat behind Ayame, before Ayame sat down next to Naruto, stood up now and left quietly with a wide smirk. Even so, that still won't get me anyone for Valentine's Day this year. I see, then we'd have to hook you up with a girl as well. Hook me up? But how are you planning to do that? Naruto asked wide-eyed. Let me think about that for a few moments. Ayame closed her eyes and thought as she held her chopsticks between her fingers, as if meditating to take a certain single piece of her plate without looking. I know! How about you write love letters to every girl you know with a reply address so they can send replies? You'll just send them anonymously and they won't know who it is. Then how will they like me if they don't know who I am? They'll be curious to who you are and might want to meet you and all then. You'll just have to write it so that they won't know it's you and that you describe what you like about them. I see. Should I even send one to Sakura-chan then? Of course, it will be easier for you to write down your feelings for her than it would be saying that right in front of her. Naruto nodded as he put down his plate and thought for a few moments before speaking up again. But, if I put my own address underneath it, people will find out it's me. Ayame let out a sigh and put down her chopsticks. That's why I said reply address. Just putting my address underneath it. My mom most likely will start traveling again tomorrow to promote father's ramen stand and to find new ingredients to put into our ramen. And since father and I are most of the time at the ramen stand and I'm home before father, I can check the mail and see if you have got any replies back. That would work most likely. But I have no idea what to write to any of them. Listen, I have a day off tomorrow. How about we write the letters then and send them to everyone? Sounds like a good idea, right? Naruto grinned widely with his fox grin and nodded. Sounds great to me. We can discuss everything else then as well. After finishing their meal, Ayame paid the bill and they heard outside, where they were greeted by loud groans of pain from the alley next to the restaurant. When they walked past it, they stopped in their tracks as a shiver ran down their spine and they slowly walked into the alley. There, Jiraiya was lying beaten and bruised against the wall. Erosennin. What happened? Naruto yelled as he and Ayame rushed towards his aid. Naruto? That you? Jiraiya asked, and just then Naruto noted that he was covered in scratch marks and had 2 red handprints on his face. You did it again, didn't you, Erosennin? Naruto said, glaring at his sensei. I couldn't help it. She knew she wanted it. And they looked so nice and soft. And then she did this to me. Life's unfair, Naruto. Unfair, I tell ya, Jiraiya said as he put her arms out in front of him and acted like he was squeezing something with his hands. Much to Naruto's surprise, Ayame smacked Jiraiya in the face. It's your own fault. You shouldn't do such a thing to a woman unless you are close to her. Humph. Naruto let out a sigh and Jiraiya dropped his arms before starting to mutter, so close, so close. I'll have to take him to Tsunade-abaken. Sorry, Ayame-chan, I think that's all for tonight. Naruto stated as he picked up his sensei. No, it isn't. Lesson number 5, don't use your sensei's ways to get to a girl. Ayame replied, smiling at Naruto before turning around and walking out of the alley. Ayame-chan? Naruto asked as he looked towards her. Ayame turned her head and looked over her shoulder towards him. HM? Thank you for willing to help me out. Really thanks. Naruto said, smiling. It's nothing, just promise me to take me out on another date where we actually can do more than just have a meal. Ayame replied, smiling widely. Hee, sure thing. Naruto said as Ayame headed around the corner. Naruto. Jiraiya said. What is Erosennin? Naruto asked as he raised an eyebrow. Jiraiya raised a wide grin and popped off to his normal self, unscratched and unbeaten. You weren't beaten up by that girl. As a matter of fact, I've sent her to a hotel where she's waiting for me. But I just wanted to see how it went between you and Ayame-chan. Jiraiya emphasized the last part as he grinned widely again. We don't have anything. She was just to help me with some things I need help with. Naruto retorted. You are really my student. Jiraiya said, grinning as he placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. I remember when Yandere first used his natural charm to make a lady fall for him just like you just did. Don't underestimate my teachings, Naruto. They'll help you out. When it comes to being a shinobi, they do. Naruto muttered, but Jiraiya heard anyway. Don't say such a thing. I'm a man of many wisdoms, as some call it. Actually, I got it mostly from Sandaime, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, you know my novels, right? Of course I do, but what about them? Well, you're awfully underage, but I think it's time I handed you one to improve your knowledge about women, among other things. Yandere was the first one to read my very first novel, you know, so I'm going to give you the very first Ika Paradise I ever wrote, and that Yandere read. Jiraiya stated as he pulled out a Ika Paradise novel from his pockets. Huh! Just as Jiraiya took it out, it was gone already. If Yandere read this, then it can't be that. After all, Yandere is the greatest Hokage ever until I become one. Later, Erosennin. Naruto yelled before rushing off with the book. He's still a cute kid when it comes to certain matters. Jiraiya said, grinning as he rubbed the back of his head. I wonder where this will lead though. Yandere Hokage read this book and was popular with the ladies. If that's true, then this book must be not so bad, right? Naruto thought as he rushed home. 5 minutes after Naruto had gotten home and started reading Ika Paradise. Yandere, read this. I think I'm going to die from this nosebleed. Naruto said as he was lying back down on his bed with his nose bleeding like crazy. I see. He got stronger by surviving this book, and ever since then he could handle major blood loss. I'm going to do that too, Naruto said with a pinched nose as he sat back up and read the next couple of lines in the book. Blood again came out of his nostrils as he shot back down on his bed. Whoever said reading couldn't hurt you was wrong. I'm not going to read that anymore until I've recovered from my blood loss. Naruto stated as he shut the book tight and laid it on his desk. He looked over to his alarm clock and let go of his nose as it stopped bleeding. Tomorrow, Ayame-chan will help me with those letters and get me a date. Naruto-kun. Ayame said as she loosened her corset. Why yeah? Naruto asked and gulped. I want you, Naruto-kun. Ayame said as she dropped the kimono that just hung on her arms and then playfully took her pants off. What are you saying? Naruto tightly pinches his nose as Ayame bends forward. Onagai, Naruto-kun. Ayame's hair fell partly in front of her face as she stared at him with lust in her eyes. Take me. Naruto shot up from his bed for the 100th time. It's the same dream again, damn it. Naruto rubbed the remaining sleep out of his eyes and stared at his alarm clock. 5:30 already. Well, it's not like I'll sleep for long anyway. Damn Erosennin and his novels. Naruto muttered as he slowly got out of bed. A shiver ran over his body as his feet touched the cold floor, but he ignored it. He was somewhat used to it by now after living there for such a long time. Naruto sheepishly walked towards the bathroom, taking off his clothes as he did so. Damn it, I have to have energy today, but I barely slept last night. Stupid book sticking things in my head. Naruto muttered as he slipped into the shower. For a while Naruto stared at the drops of water that were falling down from the shower, trying to wake up and be energetic as usual. Come on, Naruto, focus and wake up. You don't have time to be tired today. Ayame-chan is going to help you write letters to Sakura-chan and the others, remember? If you screw this up, then you won't have a date for Valentine's Day. This is your shot at getting a girlfriend as well, you know. That's right, I might get a girlfriend out of this. Someone who'll love me. I hope it's Sakura-chan though. Naruto raised a grin, feeling somewhat more energetic now. After taking his shower and getting dressed, Naruto took a cup of instant ramen before heading out. The streets of Konoha were pretty much deserted at this time and the sun was slowly rising above the sleeping village. Naruto stopped and looked towards the sun, squinting his eyes so as not to get blinded too much by the light. I wonder what girls find more romantic. A sunset or a sunrise? This looks pretty too and it kinda gives you a warm feeling. And when the sun goes down you kinda get chilly and all. I think I like this better. Naruto talked to himself, as he took his time to enjoy the rising sun. Yo! Good morning Naruto-kun. Naruto was shaken out of his thoughts by a familiar voice from behind him. He turned around and blinked a couple of times before it hit him who was standing. Yo, fuzzy eyebrows. What are you doing so early? Naruto grinned sheepishly as he rubbed the back of his head. The springtime of youth waits for no one, therefore I got up extra early today to be energetic enough for the entire day. Lee said as he was jogging but not moving from his spot. Ah, I see. Then what are you doing to get energetic for the day? I need to be energetic too today and also. Oh. You could join me in my laps around Konoha. I'm currently on number 273 of 500 laps. It really keeps me energetic all day long. Naruto blinked and looked strangely towards Lee. You know, a normal person would be extremely tired after doing that instead of energetic. Not for those with the spirit of youth. Join me for one lap and you'll see that it works. I can guarantee you that. Lee struck the nice guy pose and his teeth sparkled in the early sunlight. Well, it's not like I have anything else to do right now. Yeah, why not? Naruto said as Lee continued jogging and Naruto followed him. If you have nothing to do right now other than feeling the spirit of youth along with me, then why are you up so early? Lee asked as he looked towards Naruto, who was jogging beside him. You know, I just couldn't catch sleep and woke up early from the little sleep I did get. I see. Then you should definitely continue running more than one lap. You'll be energetic for the entire day and then at night you'll sleep like a baby. Believe me. Lee's teeth sparkled again as he smiled and Naruto looked kind of awkward towards him. Fuzzy eyebrows. Naruto said as he faced away from Lee. What is it? Well, you know, I kind of heard an interesting rumor about you. A rumor? About me? What is it? Has my youth finally broken through and people started noticing me? The Jiraiya-sensei. I did it. That's my student. Guy popped up out of nowhere, posing in his nice guy pose. Jiraiya-sensei. Lee. Jiraiya-sensei. Are you up early for the spirit of youth as well? Of course I am Lee. For today I'll go and beat my eternal rival Kakashi again. Whoa. Jiraiya-sensei, you are so cool when you say that. Lee. Jiraiya-sensei. Naruto covered his ears to protect them from their screams of joy and his eyes twitched as the two men in green jumpsuits hugged each other while tears of joy and youth flowed down their cheeks. Then, I'm going now again, my young student. Keep the spirit of youth up. Guy said as he struck his nice guy pose again and ran off. Asa. Lee saluted his sensei like he always did. Naruto stopped covering his ears when Guy was out of sight and looked awkward towards Lee again. You know, I wasn't finished talking yet. Sorry Naruto-kun. That was so hip of Guy-sensei to appear out of nowhere so I was distracted from our conversation. Right, listen, I heard some kind of rumor about you, asking Sakura-kun a date for Valentine's Day. Naruto-kun, even though I'm burning with the spirit of youth, I didn't understand a single word you just said. Lee looked dumbfounded towards Naruto. Naruto fell over and quickly stood up again and scraped his throat. I heard a rumor of you asking Sakura-chan out for Valentine's Day. How did you know that? Well, I know. Neji told you, wasn't it? Woohoo. That's why he's my eternal rival. He knew I was getting strong enough to beat him, and therefore he wanted to have something to beat me with, by using henge and transforming into Sakura-san so that I'd fall for her natural charm. Yes, something like that. Anyway, what did she answer? What did Sakura-san say when I asked her out? Naruto firmly nodded in reply. Well, I kind of forgot exactly how she said it, but it basically came down to, I have to think about it. Sorry, I can't say yes or no right now. Or something like that. Is that so? I see. Naruto replied and grinned widely. Naruto-kun. Yeah? We're running behind schedule with our laps. You are. I'm going to most likely quit after one lap. Doesn't matter. We must now run this entire lap because we've wasted too much time. Lee started rushing off, as it took Naruto some time to have his brain figure out that they needed to run, and started running after him. Wait for me. Fuzzy eyebrows. The spirit of youth doesn't wait for Naruto-kun. After Naruto's first lap, he felt the juices flowing through his body, and just as Lee said, he felt more energetic. Therefore he decided to continue jogging laps around Konoha until around 9 a.m. He said his goodbye to Lee, who still continued his laps around Konoha, and headed off towards Ayame. Naruto grinned widely as he jumped from roof to roof. Hee. I'm really awake and energetic now. Ayame-chan will be surprised to see me so early and be energetic. Once he reached Ayame's house, Naruto remembered what Ayame's mom was like and would most likely be wondering what he'd come for this early. Well, if I can enter her room without her mom noticing, then it would save me a lot of trouble. Besides, I can surprise her then. Naruto grinned as he ran to the back of the house and made his way up to Ayame's bedroom window. He noticed that Ayame was still sound asleep, so he carefully opened the window and jumped in before cheerfully grinning widely and waking Ayame up with his loud voice. Good morning, Ayame-chan. Ayame blinked a couple of times and slowly rose up from her bed and looked with a sleepy look on her face towards Naruto. Naruto-kun? Sorry for coming at an unexpected time. But you know, last night I couldn't sleep at all, so I got up early and was tired of waiting, so I... Huh? Naruto tilted his head sideways and blinked a couple of times as he noticed that Ayame had bare arms and a bare back with her sheets only covering up her front. Ayame blinked a couple of times at Naruto as her sheets slowly started to fall off her body before she woke everyone in Konoha with a loud scream. Kaya. Naruto covered his ears and closed his eyes until Ayame stopped screaming. He looked back towards her bed and noticed that Ayame was lying back down in her bed with the sheets pulled up over her mouth, and having a huge blush on her face. What the hell are you doing in my room? Waking you up. What time is it? Probably after 9. Do you realize how much luck you have? My mother and father left an hour ago. I know. Your mother is scary, you know. That is why I came through your window instead of knocking on the front door and all. But why aren't you wearing any pajamas or a nightgown or something, Ayame-chan? Naruto sheepishly grinned and rubbed the back of his head. Because it just so happens that some girls like to sleep fully since they don't think anyone will come into her room at night, and like to sleep comfortably. Naruto yelled as he just realized that the only thing covering Ayame was a bunch of sheets. Ayame pulled up her sheets slightly and looked towards her body. Yep. Naruto was fossilized on the spot with his mouth slightly hanging open as Ayame stared at him, with her sheets covering up over her nose this time, only showing her eyes and some of her hair locks. A breeze came through the still open bedroom window and blew through Naruto's hair, who was still unable to move a single muscle. Now go and make me some breakfast to make up for your rude way to wake me up. I'm going to get dressed. Ayame pointed towards the door with one arm and Naruto slowly turned his head towards her. Gah-wah! Blood shot out of Naruto's nose and launched him through the open window, crashing down on the ground below. Ayame stood up from her bed, using her sheets to still cover her up, and ran towards the window, looking down below towards the twitching Naruto. Naruto-kun, are you okay? She yelled as she leaned out of the window. I'm okay. Just open the front door or something so I can get back in. And please, for the love of God, hurry up and put on some clothes that cover you up. Naruto yelled. A while later, both of them were sitting in the kitchen, Ayame fully dressed and Naruto with a couple of paper plugs stuffed in his nostrils. Ayame was busy making some waffles since Naruto probably wouldn't be able to cook or make a decent breakfast anyway. Geez, looks like I was right last night after all. You saw me yesterday in a corset, and that doesn't cover up all that much either. Well, that wasn't fully exposed, and today I knew you had nothing to cover it up. Naruto retorted and then softly added, and last night I hadn't read that cursed Ika Paradise. Stupid. Erosennin with his talks about Yandere being the first to read it. Oh well, what is done can't be undone. Just remember for the next time you plan on waking me up, that you should make sure I'm covered properly by my sheets, or that I'm lying down with my sheets covering me. Ayame said as she gave Naruto his waffles and sat down across him with her own. But like, when you sleep, you are already covered up properly, right? So I just shouldn't suddenly wake you, right? Naruto asked. Well, I sometimes move in my sleep so my sheets might shift, and all. Ayame said and then took a bite of her waffle. Naruto thought about that, picturing Ayame in his head with her sheets shifted, and before his thoughts carried him further then he quickly shook his head fiercely. But I still don't really get why girls would sleep without clothing, Naruto said as he took a bite of his own waffle. Because bras and panties are annoying to sleep in about 99% of the time, Ayame said as she showed Naruto one of the straps of her bra. Naruto let out a question in response before he even realized it. Shouldn't you not show me stuff like that unless we're really close? Ayame slightly blushed, and then looked away with her eyes shut. Baka, I need to teach you about girls and all. Therefore you need to understand certain matters. Ah, about that. Ayame-chan. Can we start right on the letters after breakfast? Naruto asked, smiling widely and folding his hands to get. HM? Yeah, of course we can. Ayame smiled back at him. I for one don't really have anything else to do other than that. Alright then. I'm really excited about it since I wonder what the replies will be like. You do remember that we're sending them to all the girls you really know, right? There's no guarantee that you'll end up dating Sakura-chan. Of course. But I can still learn more about them, and actually this might be really fun to do. Naruto snickered at the thought of what kind of funny situations this would create. Oh, I was thinking last night, you'll have trouble if multiple of the girls want to go out on a date with you. After all, once they know it's you they could tell others and that would mean you'd gain trouble. Lots of trouble. I guess you're right. Then what can we do? You're a shinobi. You can hang out with anyone you want. That's true, but the only non-real person I can hang out with is my sexy no jutsu. Sexy no jutsu? You didn't know? Ayame shook her head and Naruto grinned widely. Then how about I show you? Naruto stood up from his seat as Ayame nodded and then he cracked his knuckles. I'll use the improved version since the version I used to defeat Old Man Sandame isn't really something I want to show you. Ayame silently looked at Naruto and blinked as he formed the normal henge seal. Henge. With a loud poof and a lot of smoke, Naruto now stood in his female form, only with a woman's clothes on, unlike usual. Wow! That's amazing, you look just like a girl. Ayame shot up from her chair and walked towards Naruto. Hee. It didn't take me really long to make this jutsu. But I don't know if I got everything exactly right. Are you kidding me? You're so cute. Even your voice is that of a woman and sounds very cute. Naruto rubbed the back of his head and smiled awkwardly. Even your chest feels so real. Ayame said as she poked it with one finger. I just got that from looking at swimsuit models. It's basically just a henge no jutsu. That's true. But how did you perfect this technique then? I'm still not a girl. You have a girl's body right now, so you could have and must have looked at it sometime. Ayame raised an eyebrow at Naruto. Naruto returned to his normal self. It still isn't the same as actually being in the same room with a real girl. But it is a girl's body. Plus you can do Kage Bunshin no Jutsu if I remember correctly. Ayame stared suspiciously at Naruto. So you're telling me that a teen with raging hormones never even so much as... No, and no. What the hell are you thinking about me? Nothing at all. Ayame smiled and stuck her tongue out at him. Naruto looked confused at her as she walked back to the table and grabbed his and her own plate of waffles. Let's go back up to my room so we can start on those letters, Naruto-kun. Shortly after that they were both sitting in Indian position on Ayame's bed, both with a plate of waffles on their lap, staring at a bunch of empty scrolls. Who shall we write the first letter to? Ayame grabbed a scroll and then a pencil and a jar of ink. HM. Sakura-chan. Naruto said cheerfully and raised his fist into the air. Alright then. Ayame opened the scroll, dipped her pencil into the ink and started writing. Dear Sakura, you most likely wonder who this letter is from and what it is about. I've written this letter because I'd like to tell you how much I adore, love everything about you. Ayame looked up from the scroll towards Naruto. How's that for starters? Naruto rose his trademark fox grin and nodded. Good. More. If it were that easy I wouldn't need you to be here. Huh? What do you mean? I don't know what you like Sakura-chan for. Now comes the part where I need to put in words what you like about her. Ah, I see. Naruto closed his eyes for a second, then opened them again and looked towards the ceiling. I like Sakura-chan because she's Sakura-chan, Naruto said, grinning widely. But Ayame hung her head down in disappointment. What? Naruto asked, confused. That's not Naruto-kun. You need to say it with sparkles in your eyes, like you are in heaven. What things about her make you feel like that? Ayame demonstrated her sparkling eyes as Naruto just stared at her. I don't know, I just like her. Alright, this isn't really helping, we'll have to do this another way. Ayame put her hand in front of Naruto's eyes. Hey. Why are you covering my eyes? Close your eyes, Naruto-kun, and relax. Naruto edged and crossed his arms. Alright, they're closed. Now what? Imagine you are on a far stretched out green grass field with a clear blue sky and pink fluffy clouds floating around. You did that? Why must the clouds be pink? Because I like pink, okay? Now just shut up and continue to imagine what I tell you. I have a bad feeling about this. Oh, shut up now, Obi-Wan. Ayame said, sounding slightly annoyed. Now imagine that all of a sudden, right in front of your face is the biggest, largest, most tasty ramen-filled bowl you could possibly imagine. Naruto nodded and raised a grin on his face. Run up that bowl in your mind and jump into the ramen. It's your favorite flavor and there seems to be an infinite amount of it. Ramen! My ramen! Alright, now open your eyes and continue thinking only about that large amount of ramen. Okay, now put your hands like you are praying. Ayame commanded, and as Naruto folded his hands, Ayame removed her hand from Naruto's eyes, revealing two large shining eyes that seemed to never stop sparkling. Good job, Naruto-kun. Now while you are swimming in that ramen, eating it every now and then because you just love ramen, tell me what you like about Sakura-chan. Her beautiful green eyes. And her pink hair that seems to be from some kind of princess because of the way it shines and all, Naruto said, still with sparkles in his eyes as Ayame nodded and continued writing the letter. What else do you like about her? Her body. Because even though it doesn't stand out from the average girl our age, it still makes her look beautiful and makes her look amazing. What about her personality? She's smart and pretty. Really hardworking, that too. And the way she smiles. Also, I know that deep down inside, she's really sweet. Ayame continued writing and soon had the letter mostly finished except for the last line. From Naruto? What shall we call you? Ayame asked, but to no avail as Naruto continued chanting, Ramen heaven. I'm in heaven. Filled with ramen. Ayame blinked and then it hit her, of course. Ramen. She quickly wrote down the last line, from Nimar with love. She continued asking Naruto what he liked about each girl until she had every letter done. Alright Naruto, stop thinking about the giant bowl of ramen now. Ayame said, smiling as she put the fifth scroll aside and put away her pencil and inked. Huh? Oh, where were we writing the letters? I finished all of them already. WHAT, you were really thinking hard about that ramen, huh? Speaking of ramen, I'm hungry. Yeah, it's almost lunchtime, but first I want to show you what I've written in the letters. Ayame grabbed the scroll that was designated towards Sakura and read out loud what she had written. Dear Sakura, you most likely wonder who this letter is from and what it is about. I've written this letter because I'd like to tell you how much I adore, love everything about you. The way your beautiful emerald eyes gaze upon the world. The way it seems like I'm being enchanted as I look at the wind blowing through your beautiful pink hair. Like you are a princess longing for her prince. And even though it seems like something average to the common eye, when I see your body I see nothing but your outer beauty. But I also know that you are truly beautiful on the inside as well. Your wits stand out from others and I know you are a hardworking girl, trying her best to live up to Hokage-sama's expectations. Therefore I'd like to ask you, do you want to go out on a date with me? I understand that this is somewhat odd as you've never seen nor spoken with me, but I mean the words I have written in this letter. I have included an address in which you can send me your reply. It is not where I live, for I wish to remain unknown for the time being. My friend who lives there will send me your reply. So don't worry, I'll know your reply when it has arrived. From Nimar with love. You really are great at this, Ayame-chan. But now I need to learn to talk like that or something. Naruto said once Ayame finished. Thank you, and yeah, you need to learn how to talk like that. And we need to find out who you can transform into if multiple girls want to go out with you. Ayame said as she put the scroll back and smiled at Naruto. By the way, what's up with this name for me? Neymar? Naruto asked, somewhat confused. Well, you were continuously chanting about ramen as I was finishing that letter, so I thought, why not spell it backwards and use that? Ayame said, smiling. I see, then they might even have a chance of figuring out who I really am. Naruto nodded and grinned widely. Well, what about the other letters? Here, read for yourself. Ayame said as she handed Naruto the scrolls. Dear Ino, I'll tell you right away, I've been watching you for some time now. Rest assured, I have no bad intentions at all. I just wanted to say what has been in my mind for some time now, and therefore I am writing you this letter. The prettiest among flowers will always catch many eyes, and mine is just one of the eyes directed at you. However, unlike other eyes, mine do not wander to other flowers that seem beautiful. So among all flowers in existence, you are and will stay my favorite one. Your blonde hair and beautiful blue eyes, they intoxicate me. If you would wear a white gown, I'd call you an angel amongst angels. However, I wonder, will an angel like you ever want to go out on a date with me? Therefore I ask you, do you want to go out with me? Whatever your choice is, please reply to this letter. Let me know if you want someone that holds you in his hands like the delicate flower you are, and if I'm that person, don't try to seek me out. The letter with your reply will be sent to a friend of mine who will carry the message on. From Nima with love, my sweet Tenten. I've known you for some years by now, and I must say that you've become more beautiful ever since I met you. Actually, I don't really know you at all. I feel like there is so much more to you than what I do know about you. You are a mystery to me in many ways, and I am attracted to that. However, I am also attracted to what I do know about you. You are a sweet, sweet girl, and I can't help but feel lost in time and space when I think about your sweet chocolate brown eyes. Your hair shares the color of your eyes, but it's not from there that they get their color. They get their color because you are a sweetheart, and that is being reflected on your beauty. I want to solve the mystery within you. I want to know you better than anyone but yourself. Therefore, I would like to ask you out on a date to get to know you. Please let me find out about what's hidden deep inside of you, where I will find more sweetness and a lot more. From Nima with love, my lovely Hinata, pearl-eyed princess of the Hyuga. By now you must wonder who'd address you like that, and I believe you already figured it out. An admirer. Do not doubt your eyes, my princess, it's true. I've seen how kind at heart you are. I've seen your care for others. You are determined to gain strength. But in my eyes you already have something that it takes to be strong. That is your love for your friends. I greatly admire you, but other than your kindness and love for others, I only know that you are shy, and I know there is more to you than that. Hobbies, interests. Everyone has them, so you do too. I want to get to know the real you. So would you like to go on a date with me, Ohaim-sama? Whatever you decide, please at least reply to this letter. From Nima with love. To the flower of the desert, Temari. Only a few flowers blossom in the desert, but you, my beautiful Temari, stand out amongst them as the most beautiful one of all. Not only as the most beautiful one, but also as the deadliest of all. This deadliness is what makes me respect you as one of Tsunagekyou's strongest kunoichi. Your beauty and wits is what made my heart melt like snow in front of the heat of the desert sun. Yet I see that charming beauty too little to my heart's desire. You are from Tsunagekyou and I'm from Konohagakure. I want to travel to meet you, but I can't, not knowing one thing before I make such a decision. Would you like to go out on a date with me? I'll understand if you'll reject my offer for a date, but either way I want to hear your reply as soon as possible. Leaf and sand are allies, let us become more than that. From Nima with love. Amazing. These are really great, Ayame-chan. They'll never think those letters are from me. By the way, did I really say most of the stuff that you wrote down? Naruto raised a curious eyebrow at Ayame. Well, not precisely, of course, but the most important parts came from you. Heh. Really? Like which one? Your beauty and wits is what made my heart melt like snow in front of the heat of the desert sun. That one from Temari's letter is something you pretty much said. Ayame smiled at Naruto and gave him a wink as Naruto, at hearing this, rubbed the back of his head, grinned and looked slightly away out of embarrassment. Well then, Ayame got up from her bed and stretched out. Let's make you some ramen and then bring these babies to the postal office. Alright. Ramen. Naruto jumped up from Ayame's bed, forgetting he still hadn't finished his waffles and that they were still on his lap. Nuh. My waffles. My waffles. Naruto cried as his waffles were now lying down on the floor. It's okay Naruto-kun, I'll clean it up later. Ayame pulled up the crying Naruto from the ground. Come on Naruto-kun. Ramen is waiting for you. But my waffles! Naruto reached out for his fallen waffles once more, pulling Ayame with him. Leave them. No, I won't leave them. I said leave them, Naruto-kun. But you made them for me, they're mine. I'll bake you new ones. Alright then. Naruto suddenly stopped trying to reach for the waffles and Ayame was still pulling Naruto away from them, so they fell back and landed on top of each other on the ground. Ayame spread her arms wide out and let out a sigh. Why do you want those waffles so bad anyway? Naruto grinned widely and scratched his head before replying. Because they tasted really good and I would feel bad if you had to go through the trouble again to make them. Ayame blinked and moved her eyes to her right, in order to look at Naruto as much as she could as he was still lying on her. Naruto-kun, you can get off me now. But this is feeling quite comfortable. Ayame slightly flushed red in her face before speaking up again. If you don't get off me now, you won't get any ramen from me or my dad ever again. Heh? You know what that means, don't you? No! Naruto jumped off Ayame rather abruptly. That's right, if you didn't jump off me right then, you'd have to go to that dirty ramen stand a block away from ours for the rest of your life. Nuh! Please! Anything but that old dump. I'll be good, I'll be good. Please don't take Ichiraku's ramen away from me. Naruto bowed continuously as Ayame stood back up. She giggled as Naruto continued bowing for her. It's alright, Naruto-kun, it's alright. It was just to get you off me right away. Come on, let's go eat some ramen and then have those scrolls delivered. Ayame cooked ramen for both of them, Naruto helping her out as much as he possibly could. After their lunch, they headed out to bring the scrolls to the postal office and took their time to enjoy the sunny afternoon in Konoha as they walked towards the postal office. I wonder who'll reply first, Naruto said as they were nearing the post office. We'll just have to wait and see if any of them decide to reply. Maybe they don't feel like replying or thinking it's some kind of joke. They wouldn't think such a thing, the letters you wrote are just too amazing. Naruto grinned widely and then noted someone up ahead of them. That person is HM? What's wrong, Naruto-kun? That woman in a raincoat is that second Chunin exam examiner I mentioned yesterday, Anko-san. You sure? Of course. No one else would wear a raincoat on a sunny day. Ayame pointed towards the postal office that was right in front of them. It looks like she also has business at the postal office. HM. Looks like it. Naruto nodded as he crossed his arms. Then, good luck Naruto-kun, Ayame said smiling as she gave him a pat on his back. Heh? What? Good luck with what? Naruto looked confused towards Ayame who was still smiling at him. Well, remember when I told you that you could learn from an older, more experienced woman? Yeah. Well, here's your chance. Ask her out for dinner tonight. What? Oh, come on. You have to try to get some knowledge on your own. I'm not all-knowing. But, no buts youngman, you go to her right now and talk to her, eventually asking her out for dinner. Yes, ma'am. Naruto sighed as he started increasing his pace towards the postal office. If you need me, I'll be at Ichiraku's. Ayame waved at Naruto, and then ran off. Naruto looked over his shoulder until Ayame disappeared around the corner, and then let out a sigh. Why do I think that this will become a very weird situation? He quickly tried to catch up with Anko and finally did so as they both entered the postal office. Naruto made sure that he wasn't running into the postal office and that he had a normal breath pace as he walked up to Anko, and then he greeted her. Yo, Anko-san. Long time no see. Anko stopped in her tracks, turned around, noticed it was Naruto and put on a grin. Oh, long time no see indeed. You were training with Jiraiya-sama for a long time, weren't you? Well, that doesn't matter really. What does matter is that I'm wondering why you are addressing me as Anko-san. Naruto grinned sheepishly and rubbed the back of his head. What are you talking about? We don't know each other that well, so I have to add san to it. Crap, this is going to be bad after all. I just know it now. HM, that's true. But I'm a sensei, so you should just address me like that. But like, you didn't have your own students and all, so you aren't really a sensei, right? It's true that I didn't have any subordinates, nor do I have them now. But I'm still a sensei. Anko said as she walked towards Naruto, I could still teach you things you have never dreamed even of. Or, perhaps you have. Anko ran a finger over Naruto's cheek and grinned wider. Is that so? Then, I guess I'll have to call you Anko-sensei, right? That's right, Naruto. You can call me Anko-sensei. Anko walked away from Naruto again and Naruto quickly followed. Ano-sensei? Why are you at the postal office, Anko-sensei? Naruto added the last part a little later, as he had a weird feeling of what her definition of sensei was. Me? I'm here to see if a certain parcel of mine has already arrived. What about you, huh? You seem to be carrying an awful lot of scrolls there. Anko leered at Naruto, making him feel somewhat uncomfortable. These? They're for an errand. Yeah, an errand. I need to send for someone. An errand, huh? Yeah, an errand, Databayo. I see. Anko grinned once more and looked back in front of her. They reached the counter where they handled all the letters. Behind it was an old lady who seemed to have fallen asleep. Abakan, wake up. Anko said as she slammed her hand on the counter. The old lady shook up and looked at her. Anko-chan. Naruto found it somewhat odd to hear a jounin being called chan. Here for the usual? Is it here? Anko asked, excited as her eyes widened. Gomen, it hasn't arrived yet, my dear. We might have it tomorrow. My boys have been very busy sorting all the mail out today, but yours isn't amongst them. I was so looking forward to having it today already. Anko said, disappointed. Well, I'll have one of my sons deliver it to you personally once we have it. They're pretty quick on their feet, you know. But that's what you get when those little rascals tried to escape my punishment when they were misbehaving back when they were just over 4 feet tall. Well, don't start talking about old times back on. My friend here still needs to have his scrolls sent. Anko said as she moved aside for Naruto. Yeah, these scrolls must be sent. If possible, they need to be sent today, please. Naruto said as he laid down the 5 scrolls. Sure thing, Sonny. I'll have them sent. It will cost you extra to have it sent today, though. That doesn't matter. Just hurry up and send them already, please. Naruto replied as he impatiently jumped from one feet to the other. After all, he wanted to get the replies as soon as possible. Alright, Sonny, honestly, youth these days. Anyway, that will be 100 yen for all of the scrolls and then another 400 to have them sent today. What? It's a busy time, Sonny. You do have money with you, right? The old woman asked him as she questioningly looked at him. Oh, of course. 1 SEC. Naruto said as he started searching his pockets. When he reached into one of his pockets, he felt some money and took it out. Naruto quickly counted the money and let out a sigh of disappointment. Only 450 yen. How much are you missing from 500 yen? Anko asked as she bent over beside him to look at the money. 50 yen. Naruto replied as he checked to make sure he didn't miss more. Here. Anko handed him 50 yen. Well, where is the deep bow and the thank you, Anko-sensei? You are the greatest for helping me out. Anko smirked at Naruto, who looked with moderately wide eyes at her. Naruto handed the old lady the money and then turned towards Anko and bowed. Thank you very much for lending me the money. I'll pay you back once I get my wallet. Anko smiled and placed a hand on his head. You're cute, you know. Naruto looked up towards her to see a hint of what might have been a dark smirk. Then again, it might just be him having a creepy feeling about Anko. Well, okay, Sonny, they'll be sent today. The ones for Konoha will be delivered later this afternoon, and the one to Sunagakure will most likely arrive tomorrow night, or something. It's been a long time since anyone sent something to Sunagakure. The old woman said as she took the scrolls and left with them and the money towards a back room. Anko let her hand slide off Naruto's head as she turned around and started walking back towards the exit. Naruto rose up from his bowed position and remembered what Ayame had asked him to do. As he quickly caught up with Anko, Naruto called out to her, really thank you for paying those last 50 yen. It would have been a pain to run back home and then back here again. Don't mention it. You don't have to pay that 50 yen back either. Anko looked towards Naruto, who was scratching the back of his head. What's the matter? Well, would you like to go out for dinner with me tonight? Naruto still scratched the back of his head and felt somewhat embarrassed to ask this. Anko said, smirking widely as she stopped walking and leaned against the wall, crossing her arms as she did so. This is a surprise. why are you asking me out to dinner, Naruto-kun? Well, how should I say this? Oh, could it be? Could it be that Naruto-kun has a crush on his Anko-sensei? No, no, no. It's not like that. I like you but not that way. No. Really? No databao. No need to be embarrassed, Naruto-kun. I don't mind a teacher-student romantic relationship. It's not like that. Seriously. Naruto knew he flushed red in his face, making him seem even more unbelievable than before. Well, if it's not that, then why are you asking me out for dinner? Anko said as she slightly bended over to look face to face at Naruto. I need some help getting used to dating and stuff, and someone's helping me out, and told me to ask someone older out for a dinner somewhere so I could know more about women and stuff, Naruto said as he fidgeted with his fingers like he had seen Hinata do 1,000,000 times. Oh, that's it, Anko said as she stopped leaning against the wall completely and bended over towards Naruto's ear. I told you I could teach you things you most likely never even dreamed of, Naruto-kun. Naruto heard her whispering to his ear as he looked at her from the corner of his eyes towards her, and wasn't able to move a muscle. Pick me up in front of the Hokage's tower at 7. Don't be late like Kakashi-kun did. He still regrets it to this day, I believe. Anko whispered and gave Naruto a kiss on his cheek before walking out of the postal office. Kakashi-kun? What the hell is up with that woman? Naruto thought as he looked towards the door to make sure Anko was out of sight. After not seeing Anko at all in the crowd, Naruto walked out of the postal office and let out a sigh. Just then Jiraiya jumped down in front of him. Yo, finally done, huh? Erosennin. What are you doing here? Naruto shouted and pointed at Jiraiya. I told you to stop calling me that, god damn it. Jiraiya whispered to him as a couple of people were staring at him. I don't care. I'm going to call you what you are. Anyway, what are you doing here? Naruto asked as he crossed his arms. Well, training won't be needed for a while since you've gotten your time off, and there aren't that much missions for you to go on from what I've heard from Tsunade, so you have most likely all the time for your girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend, Naruto said as he glared at Jiraiya. Well, that's true at the moment, but you are going out on dates with that Ayame girl. You even promised her a second one. So what? At least I'm getting dates. I have one tonight as well, you know, Naruto replied. So that's why Ayame seemed so happy when I saw her sitting at Ichiraku's ramen. Jiraiya grinned at Naruto, who looked kind of wide-eyed at him. No. I'm not going out on a date with Ayame-chan. Did she think so then? Naruto asked and blinked. Don't think so, but she was smiling when she told me that you were at the postal office. Jiraiya rubbed his chin for a moment, and then looked at Naruto again. But if you're not going out on a date with her, then who? Anko-san? Jiraiya's mouth dropped open. Anko. Yeah, Anko. Anko as in Anko? Anko? The Anko. Hi, Mitarashi Anko, Jounin level shinobi, did my second Chunin exam about 2.5 years ago. Naruto confirmed, nodding as he summed up everything he knew about Anko. Jiraiya was speechless for a couple of moments, needing to let it sink in that his student, Uzumaki Naruto, container of the feared Kyuubi no Kitsune, had scored a date with Mitarashi Anko. Jiraiya dropped both his hands on Naruto's shoulders and firmly gripped him. How? Really, how the heck did you do it? I just asked her? And how did she answer? Tell me. I'm not going to tell you. Jiraiya pouted and let go of Naruto. Naruto, why not tell me such a thing? Because then you'd know when I'm having my date exactly, and you'd come screw it up like you did last night. Not to mention give me a night without sleep again. Naruto nodded firmly. A night without sleep? Jiraiya asked and raised an eyebrow before raising a wide grin. You read it? Huh? What? You read my book. You read Aika Paradise. No. I didn't read that book. It's full of stuff I wish I didn't know. I see you read it. You just said so yourself. You wish you didn't know the stuff in it. But you do know it, meaning you've read it. Jiraiya said, grinning. It's okay. You should have seen Yandame's first reaction to it. Though he could actually pull something like that off, unlike you. Wah. What did Yandame do? Ahaha. Let's not talk about such things in public, shall we? Let's just say that I've never seen his female teammate smiling that widely after he had done that, and it's all thanks to my book. It's so good for the world. Jiraiya said, nodding. Right, what you want, Erosennin? Well, I'm off now, I've things to take care of before going out on a date with Anko. Naruto said and walked off. As Naruto was out of sight, Jiraiya rubbed in his hands. He. Finally I can get that little nymph thanks to Naruto telling me the secret to get a date with her. He. Later that afternoon, mail was delivered throughout Konoha and Hinata received the mail for her family that day. There's 2 scrolls for father, then there's Neji Nizan, and Hinata said to herself as she took a look at the scrolls and her eyes widening at the last scroll. Me? I received mail? Hinata quickly went to her father to deliver his mail. Father, mail has arrived for you again today. Hinata said as she found him meditating in one of his many meditation chambers. Thank you for bringing the mail. Hi, she said without opening his eyes or moving any muscle other than what was needed to speak up. Hinata laid down her father's mail in front of him and backed up a bit. Ayano. Father? Do you know where Neji Nizan is? Garden. Hinata bowed to her father. Thank you, father, she said before quietly leaving his chamber. Once she had closed the door behind her, she let out a sigh of relief, as her father had scolded her often enough when she interrupted his meditation before for trivial things, and she was glad that this time it wasn't like that. Hinata quickly headed onwards towards the garden, where she indeed found Neji, and as usual he was training. Ano, Neji Nizan, Hinata said as she stepped off the porch and onto the grass of their beautiful garden. Neji stopped his juken training, lowered his hands, and without looking directly he spoke up. Mail for me again, huh? Hinata shyly nodded and Neji let out a sigh. Fine then, throw them to me. Why throw them? I mean, they could be important, and such. Hurry up and just throw them. I have an appointment with Tenten for training in a while and I'd like to finish my daily juken exercises before that. Okay then, Hinata said and threw Neji's 3 scrolls at him. Juken! Neji let out as he activated his Byakugan and hit the 3 scrolls with a couple of juken strikes, knocking them back through the air. Hinata followed the scrolls with her eyes as they landed straight up in a pattern along with more scrolls that were already standing there. Konoha's mark? How come you have made it here in our garden out of scrolls, or rather, where did you get them? And not from my room, alright? Hinata asked as she noticed that Neji had a bunch of scrolls lined up in a pattern that created the mark of Konoha. No, I wouldn't do such thing as go through your room. A bunch of jounin kunoichi came by earlier and all of them decided that they wanted me as their Valentine for Valentine's Day. So, I decided to make good use of the scrolls instead of reading all their cries for wanting affection from me. Ah, I see. Hinata said. I'm saved. If he got my scrolls he might have read things I wrote about Naruto-kun, then he'd tease me and Naruto-kun forever with it. Something wrong, Neji Nizan? You forgot one scroll. Neji pointed towards the scroll still in Hinata's hands. This is one for me, Hinata said as she looked at the scroll. You got mail? That's a surprise. Neji smirked before continuing his juken exercise. Yeah, I guess, Hinata said as she looked at Neji before looking back at the scroll. See, could it be that it's from Naruto-kun? No, he'd never write to me. Why do I even think about that? Hinata walked back to the porch and sat down with the scroll. She hesitantly and carefully opened the scroll. Once she had it fully open, Hinata began to read what was written in the scroll, and after she had read the second sentence, she fainted. Neji, who noticed Hinata fainting, quickly ran towards her. Hinata-sama. Oh, what happened to you? Hang in there, Neji said as he shook Hinata a couple of times, and then he looked towards the scroll. That scroll, it must contain some kind of toxicity. Neji knocked the scroll out of her hands, and just then Hinata woke up again. No, Hinata jumped up, grabbed the scroll midair and crashed into Neji's mark of Konoha piece of scroll art. Neji stared blankly at her before speaking up. Why did you just faint exactly? Well, that is, Hinata blushed as she stood back and dusted herself off with one hand while tightly clutching onto the scroll with the other. What's in the scroll? Neji asked as he raised an eyebrow at her. Nothing, that's your business, Hinata yelled at him before running off to her room with a red face. What's up with her? Neji thought as he stared after her. Once Hinata had stormed into her room, She closed the door behind her, and quickly sat down on her bed in case she'd faint again, and looked at the scroll again. Could it really be from Naruto-kun? Hinata thought as she continued reading. No. It isn't Naruto-kun. Hinata said, disappointed as she finished reading the letter with a flushed face, trying not to faint. What should I do? Hinata pressed the scroll against her chest. Someone likes me, but I like Naruto-kun. I need to reply to him and tell him that I like Naruto-kun. But if I write that, won't he get mad and maybe try to hurt Naruto-kun? No. I don't want him to hurt Naruto-kun. Then maybe. Hinata stood up from her bed, walked to her desk, grabbed an empty scroll, some ink and a pencil before sitting down and looking at the scroll, starting to think what to write in reply to the letter. After about half an hour, Hinata was finally satisfied with her letter and rolled the scroll up. Hinata-sama? Neji's voice came from the other side of her bedroom door. Hi, just checking up on you if you had not fainted again. I'm leaving for my meeting with Tenten now. Neji-san? Do you happen to walk past the postal office before heading towards the training grounds? The postal office isn't on my route towards the training grounds. Besides, I'm already slightly late. I understand. Have a safe trip. Hinata said as she got up from her seat. Neji replied before she heard him walk off. Guess I'll have to send it myself then, huh? Hinata whispered as she looked at the scroll. Tenten was running as fast as she could towards the training grounds where she promised to meet up with Neji. I'm late. Neji is going to be mad again. Damn it, I hate it when he gets mad. He's always going extra rough on me during training. Then again, it is probably his fault that I'm late in the first place. After all, he could like me that way. I mean, he's kind from time to time. And he does look like a person that would write the first part of his name, then decide it's too embarrassing to write his own name, and change the last part so it's a different name. I wish I knew if he really wrote that letter. Tenten's face pouted. She still was wondering who could have written her a love letter and asked her out for a blind date. She thought it could be Neji, as the name seemed something like Neji could think of, and she didn't really know who else could have sent her a letter like that. But how am I going to find out whether it's him or not? It's not like I can ask him something like, "Hey, Neji, where are you the one that sent me that love letter?" He'd deny it anyway. I know. Let's see how he reacts when I hug him when I see him. Tenten was just then nearing the training grounds, and even though her plan to find out if Neji had sent her a love letter put a smile on her face, once she saw the training grounds coming up, her smile turned to a frown. Though I hope he isn't pissed off for me being late. Tenten landed on the training ground and instantly spoke up. Sorry, Neji, that I'm late, but, He's not here? She looked around and saw no one around. Not even a single sign that showed that Neji was here before she came. What the hell? She said as she crossed her arms, pouted and turned around. A couple of seconds later Neji landed in front of her. Sorry, Tenten, I am. Neji stopped talking as Tenten suddenly embraced him, shocking him moderately even though he didn't show it. You are late. Tenten whispered in Neji's ear with a smile on her face. Yeah, sorry, Tenten? Are you feeling well? Neji raised an eyebrow as he was unsure what to exactly do right now. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I feel alright? Then what's this for? Neji asked, still confused by his former teammate's sudden embrace. It's called a hug. You do know what that is, right? Of course I do. Might I know why you are giving me a hug? I believed you were feeling unwell or giving me a hug, but even though the latter seemed unlikely, it's true. Which has me now wondering. I needed a hug. Neji blinked and decided just to let Tenten hug him as he assumed she just needed it. However, after 2 minutes of Tenten not letting go of him, Neji was feeling somewhat uneasy if a random person came and saw them. Tenten? You can let go of me now. Why? I thought you didn't mind if I gave you a hug because I needed one? I didn't say that I didn't mind. Tenten slightly pulled back to look at Neji's face, who had an expression of utter confusion. Do you mind then? Neji raised an eyebrow and closed his eyes, thinking over how to answer this. Just so you know, a bunch of girls have started stalking me recently. Jounin girls, and they probably want you dead if they saw you hug me, and I didn't do anything about it. And since I consider you a friend of mine, I'd hate to see you get attacked by a bunch of obsessed hippie fangirls of mine. Neji said as he opened his eyes again. Hey! I have an idea! How about we pretend to impersonate Lee and Guy-sensei if anyone spots us? I'll yell Guy-sensei first and then you'll yell Lee, huh? Tenten, even though you say you need a hug, I don't plan on standing here for 2 hours just hugging you. It would make people think things, so how about I give you a hug instead of you hugging me and we'll start training? Neji asked as he raised an eyebrow at her. Okay, sure. Tenten said, smiling widely, and threw herself on Neji again, who wrapped his arms around her, giving her a hug. Women, what's up with them today? Hinata-sama fainting from and acting strange about a letter, Tenten wanting to hug me, and a large gang of fangirls stalking me at the mansion. I don't understand it at all. Neji thought as he hugged Tenten, who tightly hugged him back. Ino was leaning with her head on her hand as she stood behind the counter, staring at everything yet nothing at all, lost in her thoughts. She was constantly thinking about a letter she had received earlier, a love letter as far as she could tell. At first she wasn't impressed at all, but after he started describing how he thought about her, she couldn't help but melt for his words. Maybe I'm overreacting a bit, but it's been a long time since I liked a guy, not after Sasuke left the village, and it's been even a longer time since a guy actually liked me. I should really try to go out more often. Ino closed her eyes and let out a deep sigh before opening them again. Even though I don't know how that Ymir guy looks, he sounds like a dream come true. He's probably a guy that would take a girl in his arms and then as he held her, he'd whisper in that girl's ear how much he loves her and all, and he wants to go out on a date with me. Ino let out another deep sigh, and just then her mother came back into the store. Honey? Are you feeling all right? You don't look so well. Ino looked dully at her mom, who looked worried at her like she always did when she thought something was wrong. No, mother, nothing's wrong. Well, you still don't look so well. Take a break, I'll watch the store while you're gone. Alright, I'll go. Ino said as she walked away from the counter. Just because you won't stop questioning me until I do. It's not like I have anything else to do today than watching the store. Then I'll be gone for a while, Oka-san. Ino said as she reached the door. Have a safe trip. Hi. Ino silently wandered around Konoha for a minute or so, not listening to anything and just thinking about absolutely nothing. I guess I'll write Ymir-kun back. He sounds perfect even though I know he probably isn't. He didn't write what kind of date he wanted to go on. I guess I could propose a picnic then, so I could eventually lean against him as we'd enjoy the sunny afternoon and listen to the birds chirping. Ino smiled softly at the thought of spending an afternoon like that, but then she frowned at her next thought. But what if he's like Chuji? I mean, sure, he'd be nice and all, but leaning against him would be less nice and, well, a whole lot softer. I guess I'll have to write to him to ask how he looks, and if lies to me that I'll ditch him on our date the instant I see him. Ino's eyes widened as her thoughts drifted off even further as was just about to turn around a corner. More importantly, what if he's like 11 or something? Oh my god, no! That just ruined my dream. I have to know more about Nima. She would have completed her thought if she hadn't bumped into Naruto, who seemed to be in a rush. Ino rubbed her sore behind and looked at Naruto, who had jumped again and quickly held a hand out. Sorry, Ino. I was kinda in a hurry, so I wasn't paying attention really. Naruto, really, you should have been more careful. Ino replied as she grabbed a hold of his hand. But I wasn't really paying attention either. Naruto helped Ino up to her feet and grinned sheepishly as he rubbed the back of his head. Hee. Still, I should have been more careful. Don't worry about it. I needed to be shaken out of my thoughts anyway. Thoughts? Did I say something? It's nothing really. Ino said as she sheepishly smiled at him. But you know, this really a coincidence. Naruto said, grinning his fox grin. Huh? What do you mean? Well, like, I need to buy some flowers for someone. Or I was told to do so. So I thought of you and your shop and that it would be the best place to go to. Flowers for someone? Oh, I see. Ino smirked widely at Naruto. What do you mean? Naruto asked as he blinked at her. Naruto, since when do you have a girlfriend? Ino asked as she poked Naruto in his side. Man, even this guy here has someone. I'm really going to reply to Ymir-kun. I don't have a girlfriend. It's just for a friend who I'm taking out to dinner tonight. Naruto retorted. But you know, You only buy flowers when someone's special or as a thank you gift. But I doubt it's the last one. Ino teased Naruto a bit more. Well, it is. Really? It's not for someone special in that way. Definitely not that way, Databeo. Naruto said as he shook his head. Well fine then. Let's go back to my family's flower shop to get you a bouquet of flowers. The two of them silently walked back towards the flower shop. Ino looked towards Naruto at one point when they were nearly at the shop. It's sorta cute that he's actually going to buy a bouquet of flowers for someone. Naruto? Naruto averted his eyes from the road up ahead. I'd just like you to know that I think it's very cute of you to go and buy flowers for someone. It's something I didn't really expect from you. Ino said, smiling at him. Naruto rubbed the back of his head as he smiled back and slightly blushed. Thanks. I'm glad that I know someone as great as you, who knows a lot about flowers, because I'd probably be totally lost. Ino averted her eyes from Naruto and blushed a shade of red as well. Why is he complimenting me in return, and why is he blushing? It's not like I like him that way. She is blushed, Naruto thought, and ran into a telephone pole, making him fall down on the ground due to the impact he made. Where the hell did that come from? Naruto pointed at the telephone pole like it decided to pop out of nowhere. Ino giggled before bursting out in laughter and helping Naruto up from the ground. Grr. Really? Naruto said as he dusted himself off. Naruto, you changed, yet you are still the same in some ways. It's really funny. Ino said as she continued giggling instead of laughing out loud. It's not Databeo, Naruto said before they headed on to the shop. Later that day, at 7:10, Naruto was running towards the Hokage's tower as fast as possible with a bouquet in his hands. He had exchanged his normal white t-shirt, an orange-black jacket for a black shirt, and left his jacket back home. Naruto knew one thing for sure: he did not want to come late no matter what. What the? She isn't even here yet, Naruto said as he looked around to spot Anko. Naruto peered into the hall of the Hokage's tower to find a clock and found one, telling him it was 55 minutes past 6. Damn, I could have taken a bit longer to get here. 5 minutes later, Anko came casually walking out of the Hokage's tower, wearing the same outfit as she always did. Oh, you're already waiting for me. Anko smirked as she saw Naruto. I guess you really want to go, huh? Yes, something like that. More like being afraid of whatever you might do to me if I showed up late, or not at all. Here. I bought these for you, Naruto said as he handed her the bouquet. They're purple. E.R. What do you call them? Damn, Ino told me but I can't remember at all what their name is. Thank you. That's really sweet of you. Purple is one of my 2 favorite colors, you know. You shouldn't have, Anko said as she took the bouquet and smelled the sweet scent of the flowers. It's okay. It's nothing, really, Naruto said as he scratched the back of his head. No, really, you shouldn't have. I have no idea where to put this in my apartment. Anko grinned as she scratched the back of her own head. Oh, I see. Can you wait here for me? I want to bring these home. I'll just have to let them stay in the sink until I can go buy a vase tomorrow. Anko grinned. Sure. Naruto nodded and Anko smiled at him. Then I'll be back soon. With that, Anko disappeared out of sight and Naruto was left alone in front of the Hokage's tower. Damn, it's already been 15 minutes. Is she really going to come back? Naruto walked towards the street and looked around to see if she was anywhere in sight already. What's keeping her? Is her apartment like on the other side of the village? Just then Naruto heard footsteps approaching, making him turn his head towards the sound of it. Sorry for the wait. Anko stood in front of him now wearing an orange kimono instead of her standard raincoat outfit. I decided to put on a kimono and some makeup, so it took me a bit longer. Well, let's be on our way then, huh? That was still pretty short then if you got to look this pretty in that small amount of time. Well, thank you. But I had to look good for the place we're going to. Since I agreed on going out to dinner with you, I guess I also get to say where, huh? Or perhaps you've arranged a romantic dinner all by yourself. Anko leered at Naruto, who started sweating badly. Crap, did she expect that I'd take her to some special place? If I lie to her, I'd be in trouble because I don't have anything at all. But if I tell the truth, I could be in trouble anyway. Well, it's best not to lie to her though. If she has some fancy place in mind, then by the end of the night. Naruto thought as a picture came into his mind, Gama-chan will be completely flattened. Sorry, I was kinda in a hurry so I forgot to think of anything special to take you to. Naruto rubbed the back of his head as he grinned sheepishly. That's alright. I've got an idea where to take you anyway. Anko said as she grinned widely. Crap. I don't trust that grin of hers. It must be something bad, either for my Gama-chan or for me. A/N. In case you didn't know, Gama-chan is what he calls his wallet. LOLXD. Well, let's go there then. Naruto said as he let out an anxious laugh. A while later they were at just your average sushi restaurant, and as Naruto took a seat, Anko sat down next to him. She's sitting quite close to me. There's like a place to sit across the table as well, you know. Anko-san, long time no see. What shall it be tonight? A bald guy with a white tank top and a towel thrown over his shoulder asked as he had a pen and notebook ready to take their orders. Taking it easy as usual, huh? Anyway, the usual, and don't forget the regular amount of sake. Anko said, smiling politely at the man. And for your little friend there? I'd like to have some. For him the same as me. Anko interrupted Naruto and ordered for him instead. The man looked at Naruto before speaking up again. And what would the young man like to drink? He'll have some sake as well. Anko said as she winked at the bald man. HM? The man looked questioningly at Naruto. He's underage. Is this a test ordered by the Hokage or something, Anko-san? Of course it isn't. As long as you stick to our deal, no one would hear about such a thing. So just get some sake for my little friend here as well. Anko winked at the man as she wrapped an arm around Naruto's shoulder and pulled him towards her. Gotcha. The man said as he walked away. Naruto was sweating like he was spending a day in the desert with 10 sweaters and 3 pairs of pants on, as Anko had pulled him so close that his face was nearly pressed against her chest. Anko noticed Naruto's look and let go of him. Sorry. I didn't realize I was pulling you that hard. She smiled at him. That just seemed to emphasize the thought, hee. Like I didn't realize that. Naruto blankly stared at her chest before staring at Anko's face. Trying to get me drunk, huh? Damn it, if I get drunk with her I'm going to get D. So while we wait for the old man to bring us our meal, what did you need help with, Naruto-kun? Anko leered towards Naruto again as he looked normal towards her again. Like, stuff with women and all. Naruto said, grinning nervously, wondering what she'd answer. Oh, I see. What do you want to learn? I can teach you how to do anything with a woman. Anko leered again towards Naruto. Yeah, I bet you just love teaching guys about women how to do anything. Naruto thought as he stared blankly at her again before switching back to his normal look. Well, like, how to do stuff. Oh, stuff you say, huh? Anko looked amused towards Naruto. Oh shit, now she's thinking that kinda stuff. What's next? She'll just be me in the middle of the restaurant. What kind of stuff, Naruto-kun? Anko grinned. Naruto was speechless for a moment, trying to come up with a plan. Crap. If I'm not careful she will me. Oh god, I'm gonna be so screwed. No pun intended, Kami-sama. Well, how to do things with women. Naruto answered Anko's question. Oh shit, I did it again. I gotta be more specific about these kinds of answers. I see. I could teach you all you don't know yet you know. But since we can't really waste time on teaching you things you already know, so how about we start with you saying you don't know for sure and want to know. What I want to know, huh? Naruto replied. Come on, Naruto. Think of the most innocent thing you haven't done yet. Shaking hands? No, she won't buy that. Giving a girl a hug? Naruto thought back at the time he tried to give Sakura a hug for his Kuchiyos no Jutsu training, even though it was more for unleashing his potential to use the Kyuubi's chakra, and then at the times he almost hugged a girl when he was out training with Jiraiya the past 2.5 years he was away from Konoha. Well, that's something I haven't really done, and it could be believable. Naruto thought, how to hug a girl. Anko backed away slightly. BLNKD at Naruto in utter surprise. You've never even hugged a girl? Naruto shook his head. Nope. I tried, but most of the time I ended up with either a fist in my face or dropping to the ground as she just walked away. Poor boy. Well, this is a good start on how to hug a girl. Anko said as she continued hugging Naruto and caressed the back of his head. Wow, this is soft. Naruto's first thought was when he realized what was going on. Naruto heard a splash and some sizzling as he noticed Anko turned her head around. Well, it was not like he could see her doing it, but he could feel her movements at least. What is it? Naruto heard Anko say. Anko-san, if you're going to act like that before you even touch your sake, I'm going to have to drag you out after your first cup or something. Naruto now heard the old man's voice. This is nothing, just giving my friend a tight hug like friends do, right Naruto-kun? Naruto nodded, and as he did he felt Anko's hand caress his back. Oh god, that wasn't a really smart move. Well anyway, here's your meal and... Naruto heard as the man paused for some reason. Maybe he noticed where my head was and was going to kick us out. Please let that be it. God damn it. I dropped my smoke in the sake. Shit, I'll be right back with some fresh sake and your meals. As Naruto heard the man walk away again, he figured this might be the best chance to get out of Anko's hug. Can you let go of me now? Anko clutched onto his sweater before speaking up. Why? Naruto could just feel the hints of amusement and pleasure in Anko's voice, but he really wanted normal air. Thus he said the first thing that popped into his mind, I have to go to the bathroom. She let go of Naruto, and he decided to hold the sigh of relief when he actually was inside the bathroom. As he stood up from his seat and walked around the table, Naruto noticed Anko was leering at him again. Need a helping hand when you go to the bathroom? No thanks, I think I can take a crap on my own just fine. Naruto quickly replied and saw Anko's smirk fall down in disappointment. Naruto quickly went to the men's bathroom, picked one of the toilets there to do his business, and closed the door behind him, making sure it was locked in case Anko felt like entering the men's bathroom. He was glad that the toilet had no opening at the top or something. The only way in and out would be the door, meaning Anko couldn't get in. This is going to end up bad, I just know it, Naruto said to himself and let out a sigh. Just then a cold breeze ran over Naruto's back, and as he looked up, he found a window planted at the top of the wall behind him, used to ventilate the toilet. It wasn't really big, but it wasn't that small either, so Naruto quickly formed a plan. Looks like I have found a way to escape from Miss Nymph Wachimakalit for a while here. Naruto flashed a grin as he finished his business on the toilet. I can use that to escape for a while, and then come back the same way since no one else can enter, since I locked the door. I'm the best, Naruto said to himself as he put down the toilet seat and made his way up to the window. As he had warmed half his way through the window, he heard a voice he found rather familiar. So don't tell him about anything I just asked you, okay? Naruto looked towards where the voice came from, where he found Tenten and Hinata, who were now also looking at him. Naruto-ku, Hinata said and fainted, falling into Tenten's arms. Naruto, where are you eavesdropping on us? Tenten demanded to know, but then her eyes then widened. Oh my god. Is Neji there with you? Naruto noticed that Tenten gaped at him with wide eyes. But he really needed discretion right now no matter what. SSHHT. SSSHT. No, Neji is not here with me. Why? Are you looking for Neji? And no. I'm not looking for Neji at all. Tenten flushed bright red in her face. How long have you been listening to me and Hinata? Looks like I could have an interesting position here, if she buys it. Naruto thought and flashed a grin. Long enough. Tenten's eyes sharpened and stared into those of Naruto. If you tell a single soul about what you learned here, I'm going to show you what I can do with a kunai, and trust me, you won't like it. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Naruto then tried to fully come out and realized that he was stuck. Crap. Now I'm stuck. Want me to push you back in? Tenten asked as she blinked at Naruto. Naruto let his arms fall down in defeat. Nah, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk a bit longer before heading back inside. Tenten carried herself and Hinata to the wall, leaning against it, as just standing with Hinata in her arms was quite heavy. After all, she was carrying an entire extra body. What do you want to talk about then? Tenten asked as she looked up towards Naruto. Well, why are you looking for Neji? I'm not. Tenten's face flushed red again. You can deny it all you want, but if you aren't, why does your face flush red? Naruto put on his wide grin once again as he looked at Tenten. You swear you won't tell anyone I'm about to tell you? Tenten said, still red in her face as she pulled Hinata up. making it seem like they were hugging each other. Yeah? Shinobi's honor. I received a letter today. Tenten started as her face turned brighter. Heh? Naruto's eyes widened. Is she talking about my letter? It was a love letter, a very sweet one as well. It was written under a different name, but I'm almost sure it's Neji. Tenten averted her eyes from Naruto. But if it was written with a different name than Neji's under it, how do you know it's him? Crap, this could mean my chances to get at least a single date before Valentine's Day with her is getting very slim if she goes out with Neji already. Well, Tenten's face turned even brighter. It said in the letter that that person already knew me for some years now, and I have known Neji for a long time and well. But you know me now also for a couple of years, so I'm sure Neji isn't the only possible person. Oh crap, maybe she figured me out now. Tenten looked with wide eyes at Naruto before starting to giggle. Yeah, you're right. But I doubt you do something like writing a love letter. I have what they call a sensitive side or something as well, you know. Tenten's eyes softened as she stopped giggling about Naruto. But you know, I gave Neji a hug today, and he didn't seem to mind. Actually, we hugged for quite a long time, so it's gotta be him, right? Neji really hugged you? Naruto blinked in disbelief at Tenten. Tenten bit her lower lip for a while before speaking up. Well, I'm not sure he liked it really. I think he was somewhat annoyed, but he didn't mind it either. I mean, he didn't push me away or something. So, you're planning on asking him out for Valentine? Tenten's head shot up and face turned even brighter red, before her eyes looked kind of sad again, and she lowered her head once more. Neji isn't the kind of person to really show his affection towards people out in public like that. Maybe when we be alone he would, but I doubt he wants to spend Valentine's Day with me on his room or such. So, I guess I'm sitting Valentine's Day out as usual. Naruto noticed a couple of tears forming in Tenten's eyes and felt kind of bad about it. So he thought of cheering her up. Tenten looked up at him as he looked away from her. Yeah? I don't know what was written in the letter or if it really was from Neji. But if it said how much he liked you, I'm sure that he'd want to go out with you on Valentine's Day and such. Naruto scratched his whiskers and looked towards Tenten from the corner of his eyes, wondering how she'd react. A warm but small smile rose on Tenten's face. Thank you, Naruto. I never knew you'd be such a nice person to talk to. As a future Hokage, I must be able to talk to everyone, right? Naruto grinned widely. And you know what? Just in case Neji doesn't go out with you for Valentine's Day, I'll go and buy you an amazingly great box of chocolate, and I think I could even get you a beautiful bouquet of flowers from Ino's place, and then hand them to you so you have at least a nice Valentine's Day. Tenten's eyes went wide for a long moment, and a red blush again appeared on her face. Naruto noticed this and immediately realized what kind of thoughts she was having by what he just said, as Tenten averted her eyes from him as he looked at her. It's not like that. It's just so you won't go and be all sad on Valentine's Day. Really? Besides, it's not like I wrote that letter, right? So it has to be Neji. Tenten looked up in confusement at Naruto. Yeah. I'll just have to find out for sure. Then, write a reply to that letter or something like that. Naruto grinned. Yeah, I'll do it once I get back home. Tenten replied with a nod. I think I'd better head back in now. I think I'm taking a bit too long now, Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Alright, I'll push you back in, Tenten said as she carefully laid Hinata down against the wall. Tenten walked up the wall and started pushing Naruto's lowered head as he tried to slide back in with the help of his hands. After lots of groans from Naruto and a lot of pushing, Naruto finally was back inside the bathroom. Thanks, Tenten, I owe you one. Naruto yelled back through the window as he could only see Tenten's shirt at the moment. It's okay, now wait one sec. Tenten whispered from outside, but loud enough so Naruto could hear it. What is it? I'm already in trouble most likely. Give me your phone number. I think I'm going to call you every now and then. You're interesting to talk to and all. Surprise was written all over Naruto's face. No girl has ever asked me for my number. Wow. And then he grinned widely before telling Tenten what his number was. Afterwards Naruto quickly headed out of the toilet, washed his hands and rushed back towards Anko, who he found poking in her meal. Sorry, apparently I had something really bad earlier, and it just kept coming out over and over again. Naruto lied as he sat down across from her and grabbed his plate. Anko immediately seemed to brighten up as she saw Naruto and smiled at him. "Ah, I see. For a minute there I thought something else." Like what?" Naruto asked as he took a bite. Anko smirked at him as she slipped her foot out of her shoe. "That you ran away from me." Naruto felt her foot moving back and forth over his inner thigh, and at that point Naruto felt like he was being tested. Of course not. Who'd do such a thing? He picked his plate up and moved back next to Anko, afraid that she might accidentally let her foot slide a bit too far and a bit too fast. Anko leered at him as he did so and placed her foot back in her shoe. "You know, you haven't had a drink yet," Anko mentioned, and Naruto looked towards the 2 cups in front of them. One of them had already been used, obviously by Anko, and the other was spotless. "Ah, well, I'm not really that thirsty, you know." Naruto grinned sheepishly. Anko wrapped an arm around Naruto, pulled him closer towards her, pressing his arm against her chest as she moved her mouth to his ear. "Will you do it for me then?" It sounded more like a command than a question. Sure, why not then, huh?" Naruto grinned and took a cup and filled it halfway up. "Damn her, she's really trying to get me drunk. I'm not going to drink too much though." "Well then," Naruto said as he looked at the cup, and he noticed that Anko was looking at it as well. "Cheers." Naruto poured the liquid into his mouth, finding it to have a strange taste to it but not really unpleasant, so he gulped it as soon as possible. Anko grinned widely as Naruto placed the empty cup back on the table and gave him a kiss on his cheek. "Good boy." Naruto couldn't help but flush red. After all, he didn't expect that. "Then I'll have another one as well." "Naruto-chan, will you be so kind as to fill it up for me?" Anko asked with a nonchalant smile on her face. Naruto eyed her awkwardly at her newly made nickname for him, and then filled her cup. "Hey, I know, Erosennin always falls asleep when he drinks too much sake. But, like, what will she do before she actually falls asleep?" Naruto thought. Anko swallowed her cup in one go and held it in front of Naruto again as she pressed her cheek against his with a smile on her face. Seconds. Naruto carefully filled her cup once again, and it was empty again within a second. "Now it's your turn again." Anko smiled at Naruto. Naruto was about to fill his own cup, because he really didn't want to find out if he disobeyed a drunk Anko. She was scary enough sober, let alone what she'd do with a decent amount of sake in her. However, just as he wanted to tilt the bottle and fill his cup, Anko held out hers in front of her. Naruto looked at her, uncertain what she wanted exactly, but she clarified it with 2 words: "Fill it." He let out a sigh and filled her cup, and she brought it to his mouth. Naruto put down the bottle and his own cup and blinked at the cup that was in front of his mouth. "Come on, drink up." "Why?" "Because if you won't drink it, I'm going to scream out loud that you touched me inappropriately, and have all these guys here beat you up." Naruto looked around at what he could see from the restaurant. He was sure they couldn't beat him up badly. He'd be long gone before that. But then again, he didn't really want to become known as a shinobi like his sensei was known for. He figured that he could at least satisfy Anko a bit more at the moment, so she might want to stop after this cup. Naruto turned towards her and smirked. "Drink it to me." Is something like that actually a normal phrase? I mean, feed it to me is normal, but drink it? Anko gasped at him. Her mouth literally fell open when she heard that, but she regained her composure as much as possible and smirked at Naruto. "Close your eyes then and say ah, like I have a choice in that matter." Naruto thought as he regretted his action to make Anko more satisfied than just drinking the goddamned sake. Aha. Naruto obediently opened his mouth and closed his eyes and expected to find the strange tasting liquid in his mouth called sake. However, it wasn't exactly that which he found a moment later in his mouth. Ow, it tasted like sake alright, but it sure as hell wasn't sake, Naruto noted. Naruto opened his eyes and looked down towards Anko, who was still kissing him. Alright, never thought my first real kiss would be this way, Naruto thought as he continued looking at Anko, who continued doing her thing in his mouth. After a while, Anko pulled away from Naruto and leered at him. "Oh shit, I got her started really now." "Naruto-chan," Anko said. Naruto gulped before she continued. "Could you help this little girl back to her house? I had a bit too much sake." Sure, I'll pay up for the food and stuff," Naruto said. He helped Anko up, although he found it a bit suspicious that she suddenly asked all of this and wasn't sure if the sake was strong enough to get her like this, though he only had 1 cup of it while she obviously had more. Old man, thanks for the meal, but she doesn't feel so good right now, Naruto said as he paid up. The man didn't say a single word as he counted the money and put it away. As Naruto and Anko headed out of the restaurant, the man let out a sigh. She shoots and scores, like usual, he muttered before getting back to his other customers. Naruto walked down the street and then looked cluelessly around. Where do we need to go anyway? That way. Anko pointed towards the alley that led to another street. You sure? Naruto looked awkwardly at her. Sure, I'm sure, it's shorter. Okay, if you say so, Naruto said and carefully walked into the alley with her. He knew it was a bad idea. His instinct told him so, and his instinct was proven to be correct as they reached a T-junction in the alley and Anko pinned him against the wall around the corner. Hee, you didn't think I was drunk after a wee bit of sake, right? Anko smirked at Naruto, who looked casually towards her, though not very comfortable with his current situation. Yeah, I had my doubts about it. It was rather odd, unless you drank a lot while I was taking a crap. Then, Anko said as she pressed her body onto Naruto's. Let's move on to your next lesson, my little fox. Anko trailed with a finger over his jaw and Naruto knew he couldn't just beat the crap out of her or something, so instead he looked somewhat frightened towards Anko. I don't think I need any more lessons, Naruto replied as Anko gave him a couple of kisses on his cheek and neck. I see, Anko said as she pulled slightly away from Naruto and he let out a sigh of relief. That relief was however short-lived as she spoke up again. You want some skin, huh? Why? It didn't really hit Naruto's brain the instant she said that, but that changed as she grabbed one of his hands and placed it in her kimono, just an inch or 2 below her chest. Blood rose up high into Naruto's face, making him bright red and frozen stiff. Don't you want to know how the rest of my skin feels? Anko said playfully. Naruto slightly trailed down with his hand as sweat broke out on him. God damn, she's so soft, and not one flaw on her skin or something. What the hell am I thinking? Why am I doing this? Cause I'll be screwed to get a date with Sakura-chan if I won't. She'll probably go and shout that I'm violating her, though she's the one that's commanding all of this. Hold your hand still for a moment. If you move it while I'm going to do this, then you'll be in a lot of trouble since you'd kill the suspense. Suspense, she says. Holy crap. I think I understand why Erosennin wants to go out for dinner or something with her. She's the dream of everyone in Konoha, no, in the world. Anko opened the top half of her kimono enough to show a lot of skin, yet still somehow managed to cover up the most detailed parts. Now, Anko put her hand on the one of Naruto that was on her body. Move a bit more up with your hand, Naruto-chan. She tried to move Naruto's hand up, but he refused to move a muscle. Anko looked confused towards him as he gritted his teeth. I won't do it. You want me to do all these things, but I barely even know you. I'm not going to do it. Naruto yelled and looked fiercely into Anko's eyes. She removed Naruto's hand from her body and narrowed her eyes at him. Naruto was prepared to face her if she planned on fighting or something, but again Naruto was taken by surprise. Anko pushed him against the wall again, raised him slightly up and passionately kissed him. Naruto was lost in confusion as she broke the kiss and looked with a smirk at him. What the? Naruto thought as Anko slightly closed the top half of her kimono again to cover herself a bit more up. You're the first to reject my attempt at getting more from someone. And you know what? Naruto was still too confused to answer or say anything, so he just stared at her as she again pressed her body on his. I'm going to have you later. She winked at Naruto. I could still have my way with you right here and now, but it will be more interesting when you want it yourself. So, why yeah? Naruto stuttered, finally managing to let out another word. Instead, I'll just teach you in an indirect way for the time being, tease you a little bit every now and then, flirt with you and anything I want aside from stuff that's more than a hug and a kiss, Anko said as she moved her mouth towards his again. Can that wait until later as well? Naruto asked nervously. Listen, Naruto-chan. Anko trailed with her fingers over his body. Either I kiss you right here and now, or I'll show you what my snakes are good for and have my way with you until 5 a.m. in the morning. Gee, that's a hard choice to make. Naruto thought before he quickly pressed his lips onto Anko's, catching her by surprise, but she led him right through it. As she broke the kiss, she backed off him. Naruto let out a deep breath, both of relief and just because he needed to breathe normally again. Anko snapped her fingers and a small card appeared between her index and middle finger. Here you go, Naruto-chan. My phone number and address. In case you need me. She smirked as Naruto took the card and put it in his pocket. Can I ask you one more thing? Naruto asked, and Anko looked questioningly at him. Would you please call me something other than Naruto-chan? I don't like it. Okay, my cute little fox. Anko said and walked a bit more away from Naruto with her back towards him. Now since I pretty much gave you my goodnight kiss, I have one last thing to give you. And that would be what? Naruto asked, but in fact didn't really want to know. Anko dropped the top half of her kimono down to her lower arms. Don't forget me, my little fox. Anko winked at him, and then disappeared out of sight. The wind blew quietly through the alley and Naruto stood still there for a moment. Then the entire occurrence rushed through his head and he passed out with a bleeding nose. A whole lot later, Naruto reached his apartment, and stumbled up the stairs and towards the door. Once inside, he closed the door behind him, and put his keys away. Just then, he could have sworn to hear something in his living room. It was pitch dark in the room, so he couldn't see very well at all. He flipped on a switch for lights and was surprised, or to be more precise, shocked with what he found. Congratulations, Naruto! Jiraiya and his frogs said in unison while some frogs just croaked. His living room was full with frogs, who had actually party hats on, and there was even a cake in the center. What the hell? It's not my birthday. Jiraiya walked towards Naruto and put a hand on his shoulder. So how does it feel to be a man? Erosennin, is it just me, or is my place loaded with frog summons wearing party hats and stuff? Oh, come on, you know it's only right you become a man. What? You went out with Anko, right? Yeah, so, to put it bluntly, I thought you and her were humping each other for some time now. Wouldn't be surprised if it actually happened multiple times by now. No. Something like that didn't happen. And immediately a silence fell in the room. A long silence. What the? Jiraiya raised an eyebrow at Naruto. Damn it, Jiraiya. You made me wear this party hat for nothing then. The kid is still a... Gamakichi replied as he smacked his hat on the ground. Hey. It's not like you aren't one either. What are you blabbering about, kiddo? My wife's pregnant from me. Naruto gasped at Gamakichi, who was seriously just looking at Naruto like, what? Is there something wrong with becoming a dad? Anyway, Jiraiya, if there's nothing to celebrate, me and the others are out of here. Gamakichi said as he and all the other frogs popped off. Why? How? Jiraiya chanted as he stared at Naruto in disbelief. Like, I'm not feeling like having her be my first? Naruto replied after thinking at least 2 seconds about his answer. Not feeling like it. Not feeling like it. You have any idea what that woman is capable of? Jiraiya replied in disbelief. As a matter of fact, I think I had a taste of what she was capable of. Naruto nodded. Jiraiya just gasped at him and then grinned. Well, if that's the case, I'd say my chances for her asking her out are up. UHM. Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Just then something popped into Naruto's mind. He didn't know why, but the idea just seemed to come out of nowhere. Me coughs. Sensei? Alright, what do you want this time? What are you talking about? I don't want anything. Naruto grinned innocently. Don't lie to me. Every time you call me sensei you want something. So stop pretending and ask what you want already. Do you like to have pictures of Yandere when he was like, let's say, 16 or so? Naruto asked hopefully. I think I'll check. Jiraiya said as he took out a small photo album and started flipping through it. You carry a photo album around with ya? Naruto blinked at Jiraiya. Yeah, with all the pictures of everyone I thought of at least one thing. Jiraiya looked questioningly at Naruto, as if it was weird for him to carry such a thing around. Okay, just get me the photo from 16-year-old Yandere, or so please. Jiraiya flipped through a couple of more pages and then showed Naruto a picture. This is him when he was 16 years old from what I remember. Naruto looked closely at the picture to give himself a thought of all the small details. Yandere was blonde, Naruto knew this already, so that was why he wanted to see that picture in the first place. Next, his blue eyes were different from Naruto's own pair of blue eyes. If you'd look into Naruto's eyes, you could see determination, joy, and a slight hint of sadness. Yandame's eyes were different. They showed care, leadership, determination, and kindness towards others. Naruto didn't know why he saw those things in them. That was just what he saw. As for the way his body was built, Naruto noted that he was at least half a head larger than Naruto was right now, using Jiraiya standing next to him and next to Yandame in the picture as a measurement. Naruto also found Yandame to be slightly more buff than him. Could I borrow that picture for a while? Naruto asked. I don't know. Please, it's very precious to me since we both look very bad on it, and all. I'll tell you one thing that did happen to me with Anko if you do. Naruto smirked as Jiraiya's ears perked. Well, I guess it's okay as long as you don't lose them then. And as long as you tell me something juicy. Naruto grinned and told Jiraiya how when Anko hugged him, she pressed his head onto her chest. After hearing this, Jiraiya seemed to have drifted off to La La Land as he handed Naruto the picture with one swift motion. I'll talk to you later, Naruto. And with that, Jiraiya left Naruto's house. Naruto let out a sigh as he sat down on his couch and looked at the photograph. I really hope I can successfully henge into him and all. Since I haven't seen him in person, it's going to be hard. But you know, I should manage. Naruto laid the picture down on the small table in front of him, and then he noticed that the cake was still there. Hee. And thanks for the cake, Erosennin. Kaos, now it's all mine. Naruto let out an obsessed laugh. Meanwhile, in hidden village of sand, Temari ran up the stairs of the mansion where she and her siblings lived. Mail always arrived late in Sunagakure, since most of the time it's too warm during the day for postmen to deliver letters. Temari had received a letter from Konoha, which really surprised her in the first place. But she was absolutely knocked off her world when she read the letter, which she found out to be a love letter, with a guy she didn't even know by name asking her out on a date, and that he was willing to travel to Sunagakure for it. Temari stormed through the hall rather loudly, but her steps softened as she reached Gaara's room. She opened the door and stuck her head inside. Gaara? No response, unlike usual. Ever since Gaara's encounter with the Akatsuki, he had lost the demon inside him, but still managed to control his sand. It was some knowledge he hadn't forgotten when he lost his demon, but with the demon gone, he could also sleep for the first time in his life. And he was quite fond with sleeping, as Temari had noticed. After his first night of sleep, Gaara came down into the living room whistling, gave her a hug, patted her brother on the shoulder before making breakfast for both of them. It bothered her at first, sickness she wasn't used to it at all. But now she enjoyed Gaara being cheerful in the morning, so most of the time she'd rather have him sleep through the entire night, even though he was the only person to listen to her problems at night, since he was the only one up late aside from her. Temari walked into Gaara's room and over to his bed, where she lightly shook him. Gaara, sorry to wake you up, but we're going to head for Konohagakure right now. Gaara groaned and then looked at her. It didn't take long for him to wake up at all. Why? He asked, sounding slightly annoyed. Because someone there really likes me and all. Fine, we'll go meet the person who likes you, as long as I can sleep on the way there. Gaara said as he got out of bed, threw his teddy into his gourd. Temari headed out of her little brother's room so he could change his clothes and pack, like she was going to in a second. I wonder what he's like. Temari said dreamy and then loudly squealed of excitement.